Chapter 11:28. Old Master Gu thought that Lualuali would be nervous when she saw him, but he didn't expect her to be so calm and composed. She was braver than her mother. But it was really awkward to hear her address. Whatever. Lualuali ordered a latte for Old Master Gu. Then she went to get it for him personally and placed it in front of Old Master Gu. She sat down again and looked like an obedient little girl. No matter how much Old Master Gu was impressed by her courage, he was still dissatisfied with her relationship with Gu Linshan. If it weren't for her, would things have turned out like this? Grandpa, did you ask me to come here because of the Lin Corporation? Didn't you want me to accept you? I have a condition. Grandpa, didn't you already accept it in the past? I accepted it on the surface. Oh, the condition is for little uncle to let the Lin Corporation off, right? You're smart. Lualuali smiled. Grandpa, you never looked for me in the past, but now you're looking for me. With the recent incident with the Lin Corporation, you must be here for this. Since you know, then go and tell Gu Linshan to let the Lin Corporation off. As long as he does, I'll sincerely accept you and your mother. I may not be able to do anything. Don't you want your mother to return to the Gu family? It's not that I don't want to, but little uncle won't. If he finds out that I'm pleading with him for this, he won't let me have an easy time. Lualuali was telling the truth. Gu Linshan was a man of his word. He would never agree. Then think of a way to make him agree. Otherwise, why would I look for you? Old Master Gu looked at her sternly. Grandpa, you're making things difficult for me. Lualuali's tone was a little coquettish. Besides, little uncle didn't let me ask about the acquisition of the Lin Corporation. If I talk about it again, it won't do me any good except make him angry. Why don't Grandpa look for little uncle? If I have any use for him, why would I come to you? Old Master Gu was angered by her nonsense. Lualuali immediately smiled. Grandpa, don't be angry. Actually, you can't blame little uncle for the acquisition of the Lin Group. It's Lin Xiangding's fault. If grandfather insists on helping the Lin family, then he will be suspected of helping outsiders. Old Master Gu's eyes widened in anger. Grandpa, drink this milk latte first. It's delicious. Lualuali gestured to the latte in front of Old Master Gu and said, I can't. I'm only asking you if you want to tell Gu Linshan about this. Old Master Gu's face darkened. Just as Lualuali was about to say something, she felt a shadow cover her. Then, someone sat beside her. Lualuali's eyes flashed. Little uncle? Gu Linshan didn't seem to hear Lualuali calling him. His sharp gaze shot towards Old Master Gu. Old Master Gu turned his face away. He hadn't expected Gu Linshan to come here. What, you have nothing to say? I'm here. Just say whatever you want to say. Gu Linshan's voice was cold. His expression was gloomy. Old Master Gu thought that since Gu Linshan had seen it, there was no need to hide it. You don't have to be so nervous. I won't do anything to her. After all, the Lin Group is a good example. Gu Linshan didn't say anything. He wasn't someone who could be easily fooled. Say it. What will it take for you to let the Lin Group go? Gu Linshan went straight to the point. That's not possible. You! Old Master Gu was furious. You've already locked Lin Xiangding up, haven't you? Isn't that good? Lin Ji is in the hospital now because of a stroke and he's unconscious. Do you have to give him a way out? If that's the case, even if the Lin Group is given to him, he won't have the energy to manage it. I want Lin Xiangding. She'll never be able to make a name for herself in this lifetime, Gu Linshan said viciously. Gu Linshan. Don't call me that. If you thought I was useful, you wouldn't have come to Loli. I can tell you that even if she goes back and begs me on her knees, I'll destroy the Lin family, Gu Linshan said viciously. Lualuali was speechless. Little uncle, you don't have to say that, right? You're making it sound like I'm useless. It's very embarrassing. But when she looked at Old Master Gu again, he couldn't say a word. His expression was extremely ugly. Luo tugged at the hem of Gu Linshan's suit under the table, but Gu Linshan didn't seem to feel it. Luo just wanted to tell Gu Linshan not to be so stubborn. After all, that was his father. But she realized that this kind of reminder was useless. Now, she could only shrink her neck and listen to their swords being drawn in terror. Linji watched you grow up. Why do you have to be like this? When my mother died, I didn't care if he had a part to play in it. Now, don't plead for mercy in front of me. I feel like I've become so merciful that I don't even recognize myself when I return to D City, Gu Linshan said with a malicious expression. Don't appear in front of Loli again and say such useless things. Otherwise, I'll make sure Lin Ji dies faster. With that, Gu Linshan dragged Luo away. Luo still wanted to maintain a good relationship with old Master Gu. Wouldn't it worsen after Gu Linshan's words? Grandfather, I'm leaving. Let's have some more coffee. Before she could finish her sentence, she was dragged out by Gu Linshan. And into the car. Luo could feel the anger in the air. Gu Linshan, who had gotten into the car, was exuding a murderous aura. She was so frightened that she sat up straight. She thought to herself, this has nothing to do with me, right? I didn't promise old Master Gu anything. Little uncle, I didn't promise grandfather anything. Really? Luo felt that she still had to explain. If you dare to promise him, I'll make sure you can't get out of bed for a month. Luo felt miserable. Apart from this kind of threat, was there nothing else? Who allowed you to come out with him? I just wanted to have tea with grandfather. Can't I do that? Her voice was a little soft because of Gu Linshan's frightening gaze. Do you think it's that simple? Luo shook her head. See, she knew that Gu Linshan would never agree to let the Lin family off. They were still in their infancy, but they had already become so scary. Luckily, she was smart enough to reject old Master Gu. Luo looked at Gu Linshan's unapproachable face and asked carefully, Little uncle, why are you here? Isn't it too early to pick me up? She didn't want Gu Linshan to pick her up, but when Gu Linshan was domineering, she couldn't resist. I have something to do at tea. Something to do with the division of the Lin family? Luo sweated. Yes. Luo didn't say anything. She actually answered so calmly, as if the division wasn't a big corporation, but a small matter. The car stopped at the entrance of the studio. Luo got out of the car. Tang Bao, who was handing over work to Xiao Ding inside, saw Luo and Gu Linshan get out of the car. Beauty Novel, Xinwu 799. Chapter 1129. Luo came to the studio while Gu Linshan went to tea. His charisma and sexiness could be felt from miles away. His tall and wild charm could make everything else pale in comparison. However, Tang Bao felt that such praise only existed when Di Haotian wasn't around. In her heart, Di Haotian was the most perfect person. Seeing Luo come in, she asked, Is your uncle going to tea for something? Yes, about the division. Luo didn't explain too clearly because there were other staff members around. The others didn't know what the division was. When the two of them went upstairs, Then I have to thank your uncle, Tang Bao said. Luo didn't understand. Why? Otherwise, how could Di Haotian be so easy to appease? Tang Bao said helplessly. Oh right, I remember now. The young master wants you to go to tea every afternoon. I feel that the young master is really domineering. It's just next door, but he's still worried about you? Luo asked. Who knows? Tang Bao looked very distressed. However, he didn't feel that way in his heart. It was as if there was a hint of sweetness in his helplessness. Tang Bao thought that he must be used to being abused. While Luo and the scriptwriters were busy in the conference room, Tang Bao remembered that she hadn't gone to tea for a few days. Had the roses in Di Haotian's office completely withered? Thus, Tang Bao took the car to the flower shop to buy roses. After buying roses, He saw the coffee shop opposite and went over to order snacks and coffee for the scriptwriters and asked them to send it over. When he walked out of the coffee shop, "Oh, I was wondering who it was. So it's President Tang. Are you here to buy roses again?" Tang Bao turned around and saw Mia, who had regained her composure. He did not want to say anything to her and wanted to cross the road, but he was stopped by Mia. "Mia, do you want your face to be slapped with a plate again?" Tang Bao asked coldly. "That's all you have. In the past, I really thought that you were a sentimental man who would spend a few days without roses to coax a woman. So you're just coaxing men. I have to say your methods are really disgusting." "Stay away if you're disgusted." "Why should I stay away? You're a man, what right do you have to fight with me for the young emperor? Do you have anything for women? I can't imagine how you please the young master in bed. Don't you find a man's hard body disgusting? And young Master D likes me. If he didn't like me, he wouldn't have said that in the message," Mia said with a twisted expression. "Are you sure? He's still sending you messages? What do you mean? I know why my messages to the young Master D were like stones sinking into the sea. Did you do it? Did you use some tricks?" Mia questioned. Tang Bao sneered. "Mia, do you really think that the person who sent you messages is Di Haotian?" Mia's expression changed. "What do you mean? Explain it to me clearly. Do you think you're the only one who knows how to act? I'm a manager, but it doesn't mean that I don't know how to act. What do you think of my acting in the private room that day?" Tang Bao looked at Mia's confused expression and mocked. "Those messages were sent by me. You even asked me if I liked you, and I replied to you. Actually, even if you didn't tell me that you met Di Haotian that day, I would still know. Because I was the one who was chatting with you. No. Impossible." "What's impossible about it? Then why don't you think Di Haotian is contacting you now? If he really likes you, how can a man like me stop him? Mia, I have to say, although you're a woman, you're still far from my level. You'd better go back and train." Tang Bao mocked. How could Mia accept such a truth? She asked Di Haotian if he liked her, and when she received Di Haotian's response, she was so happy that she was about to go crazy. How happy she was at that time was how bad her mood was now. "How dare you trick me?" Mia went forward to pull the rose in Tang Bao's hand. Tang Bao dodged quickly. Seeing this, the driver on the opposite side rushed over. But someone was faster than him. Cheniao went forward and pulled Mia over. She raised her hand and slapped Mia's face, and Mia almost fell. Where did this little B***tch come from? How dare you bully President Tang in public? You're courting death. Cheniao was extremely arrogant. Tang Bao looked at Cheniao in shock. What was going on? Mia came back to her senses and wanted to fight with Cheniao. Then, the two of them started fighting on the street. Tang Bao, who was standing at the side, had a headache and held his forehead. How could something like this happen? How could a woman like her make two women fight over her? Mia was born in the countryside, so naturally, she was not weak. But the crazy Cheniao was not to be trifled with either. Soon, onlookers came over to watch. The two women were fighting on the street, and the scene was really one of pulling hair and clothes. Seeing this, Tang Bao thought, if they continued to fight, wouldn't they be exposed? He hurriedly waved at the driver. Hurry up and pull them apart. The driver went forward and pulled the two women apart. Little B***tch, who the hell are you? How dare you have designs on President Tang? I'll beat you up every time I see you next time. Cheniao's hair and clothes were messy, but she did not diminish her aura at all. Mia was not any better. She was about to go crazy. Where did you come from? You're crazy. Scold all you want. It's okay if you scold me, but if you scold President Tang, I'll beat you to death, you idiot. The two of them continued to argue. After the driver pulled the door open, he saw that Tang Bao was leaving, so he hurriedly left as well. The onlookers were laughing and chatting. So it's two women fighting over a man. Are they afraid that they lack men when they're so pretty? That man just now is even prettier than these two women. Exactly, but it's a pity that he's a man. Chen Niao continued to argue and then turned around to look for Tang Bao. She did not argue with Mia anymore and turned around to look for Tang Bao. Meanwhile, Tang Bao had already arrived at the Emperor family by car. Knowing that Gu Linshan was there, she did not go there personally. She handed the flowers to the front desk of T openly. Anyway, everyone in T knew about her illicit relationship with Di Haotian. Moreover, she had given flowers to Di Haotian in front of the higher-ups of T. There was nothing to be embarrassed about. Tang Bao wondered if this meant that she was declaring her sovereignty. Di Haotian belonged to her. No one should dare to have any thoughts about him. Di Haotian and Gu Linshan were talking in the office while the secretary was sitting beside them taking note. There was a knock on the door. The secretary stood up to open the door and saw the receptionist holding a bouquet of roses. "This is a rose for the young master." "Ah!" The secretary was stunned. Could it be another woman who had sent it? She turned to look at Di Haotian. Di Haotian naturally heard that and his face darkened. "Throw it away." The secretary said to the receptionist, "Throw it away." Throw it away? The receptionist did not know about the previous incident and thought that the young master and President Tang had fallen out. Welfare, Hongcha 866. Chapter 1130. However, he didn't dare to ask too much for fear of provoking the young emperor. The secretary closed the door, walked to her seat, and sat down. She continued to take note. Gu Linshan looked at Di Haotian's expression and asked with a smile, "What's wrong? Aren't you happy that someone sent you roses?" "I don't even have anyone to send me roses." Then, Gu Linshan looked at the only vase in the office. The roses inside were starting to wither. "Those roses were from someone, right? You're so easy to coax. Even the roses made you obedient. But why don't you want the roses from just now? Weren't they from her?" Di Haotian's face was gloomy. He still hadn't forgotten what happened last time. If he made another mistake, he was afraid that he would make that little thing unhappy again. He was anxious when he saw that Tang Bao was angry. As for the Cold War, he was even more furious. The phone on his body vibrated. Di Haotian took it out and saw that it was Tang Bao. His expression softened. However, when he saw the content of the text message, Di Haotian's expression changed. He stood up and hurried to the door. He opened the door and disappeared in the blink of an eye. "Wait!" The receptionist, who was about to enter the elevator, was frightened by the shout. When she saw Di Haotian approaching her, her entire body froze. "How scary!" "Flowers!" The receptionist quickly handed them over with both hands. When the flowers were in Di Haotian's hands, her expression looked better. Just now, in the receptionist's mind, it was really scary. It was as if someone had stolen some treasure from the young emperor. After receiving the flowers, Di Haotian replied to Tang Bao's text message. "I received it. It smells good. Why didn't you send it personally?" "Yeah, how dare you accept it without sending it personally? Is there another woman who sent it to you?" "Of course not. I know it's from you just by looking at it." Tang Bao looked at the reply and pursed his lips into a smile. However, when he saw the next text message, his smile froze. Di Haotian's message was, "If you don't deliver it to me personally, please me at night." Tang Bao replied, "You can't blame me for that. Weren't you busy? It's fine now that you're here. Don't find excuses. Coax me at night." "I didn't want to disturb you." "Coax me at night." "Am I wrong not to disturb you?" "Coax me at night." Tang Bao replied, "Don't you have anything else to say? Should I coax him?" "Yes." Tang Bao could only reply helplessly. Di Haotian looked at the message, and the corners of his mouth couldn't help but curl up. Gu Linshan and his secretary watched as Di Haotian put the roses in the vase and sent a text message. "I don't understand you. One moment you're unhappy, the next you're happy. Are you trying to change your face? Gu Linshan asked. The secretary also felt that the young master's mood swings were too unusual. Why do I need to spend one moment and not the next? Who is he texting with so happily? It must be President Tang. So, these flowers were from President Tang? And then Di Haotian found out, so he was so happy? Even the secretary felt that receiving a bouquet of roses was nothing, but the young master was smiling so innocently? He didn't dare to say such things out loud for fear of being destroyed. Hey, does your young master look like an idiot every time he receives roses? Gu Linshan asked the secretary. How could the secretary let his young master's image be ruined? He said, no. It would be strange if Gu Linshan believed him. He already had such an expression here. If he wasn't here, who knew how much of an idiot he would be? Tang Bao had just put down his phone. President Tang. Chen Yao poked her head in first. Tang Bao was speechless. Chen Yao walked in and sat down. President Tang, did you buy the roses just now for me? Tang Bao was shocked by her. Where did you get the confidence to think that I bought the flowers for you? Tang Bao was so shocked that he couldn't say anything. I guessed right, didn't I? Where are the flowers? Give them to me now. I want to go back and put them up, Chen Yao said happily. Tang Bao touched his head and said, Miss Chin, those flowers were for my lover, so they weren't for you. Your lover? Why didn't I know you had a lover? Chen Yao was immediately unhappy. I have a lover, so I won't go around telling people. Tang Bao didn't want to talk about this topic with Chen Yao. He only asked, Why are you looking for me? Can't I look for you for no reason? Tang Bao thought that if Chen Yao continued to be like this, would Di Haotian find out? She felt that Chen Yao treated her differently now. However, this kind of thing couldn't happen. She had just reconciled with Di Haotian a few days ago. She didn't want to fight again because of another woman. Miss Chen, Tang Bao had just opened his mouth when he was interrupted by Chen Yao unhappily. Don't call me that. It's so distant. Just call me Yao Yao. I prefer to call you Miss Chen. Also, I want to say that I'm very grateful for your help today. Since you're grateful, let's have dinner together tonight. Tang Bao wanted to swear. Can you let me finish? F***CK. He still had a polite smile on his face. I'm very grateful, but I don't like people who come uninvited. Do you understand what I mean? I understand. No, Tang Go, you're actually being harassed by that kind of person? Is she the one who quarreled with you on the street just now? She actually wanted to snatch your flowers. She's so shameless. I've never seen such a disgusting woman. Tang Go, don't worry. The next time I see her, I'll beat her up so that she won't dare to come near you again. Tang Bao felt that talking to Chen Yao was really King tiring. Tang Go, who's that woman? Tell me, I'll help you vent your anger. Miss Chin, the person I'm talking about who came uninvited is you. Also, even if I'm being harassed, it's my personal business. Please don't ask, okay? Tang Bao asked patiently. How can I do that? Your business is my business. I know that I came abruptly, but don't worry, I don't mean any harm. I really like you, so much that I can't wait to marry you. I can't wait to kick you out right now. How about it? Let's have dinner together tonight? You can't reject me again. You've already rejected me once. Can you bear to do that? I can't bear to do that. Chen Yao, you're calling my name. Although it's not Yao Yao, it's still better than Miss Chin. It means that our relationship has improved. Besides, I really have something important to tell you this time. Something important? I want to sign a contract with your company, okay? My brother and I will make a lot of money for you. Tang Bao now had a headache whenever he saw Chen Yao. If she appeared in front of him every day, wouldn't she go crazy? How about it? Sign it. I'll make money for you for free, and you'll provide food and accommodation for me. Isn't it a good deal? A pie falling from the sky? Xinwu 799. Chapter 1131. Tang Bao looked at her and held his breath. He did not curse. Do you want me to call Meng Shi? Chen Yao's face fell when she heard Meng Shi's name. No need, right? Why would you call him? I'll make the decision myself. I won't sign you. You keep bothering me here. Either I call Meng Shi or I call security. Tang Bao felt that Chen Yao was not an ordinary weirdo. At least, she hadn't seen her before. When he talked to her, it was as if she wasn't on the same channel as him. He couldn't hear the rejection in her words at all. Okay, I know I'm bothering you. I'll come again next time. Chen Yao stood up and left the office. Tang Bao was stunned for a moment. She actually left obediently after saying that? But why did she say she would come again next time? She should have told the security not to let such a person in, right? Sign her? Tang Bao had goosebumps all over his body just thinking about it. In fact, Chen Yao didn't leave at all. After she went downstairs, she looked left and right. Tango had clearly bought roses just now. Where did the flowers go? Who did he give them to? There was no smell of flowers in her office at all. It didn't make sense for him to give the flowers away so quickly. Unless he gave them to a little vixen in the studio. Chen Yao walked to a staff member's desk and sat down. She asked softly, "Who did Mr. Tang give the roses to?" The staff member's expression changed slightly. "I don't know." She didn't dare to say that this woman was Mr. Tang's family member. If she said that Mr. Tang gave the roses to T, wouldn't it cause a war? She didn't dare to burn T, but wouldn't Mr. Tang's house be in chaos? You don't know? Chen Yao looked into the staff member's eyes and realized that she didn't dare to look at her. If this wasn't guilt, what was it? She deliberately tried to fish for information. You don't have to hide it from me. I already know. The staff member's expression changed again. You know? This. I think it's very normal. Mr. Tang gave the flowers to the young emperor because they're friends. They have a good relationship. She deliberately didn't say roses and only said flowers. This surprised Chen Yao. A man? Yes. Chen Yao thought that she would be able to find a little vixen, but she didn't expect it to be a man. But why would Tang Go give a man flowers? Or roses? No way. Even if he was a man and they were just friends, she wouldn't agree. Anyway, Tang Go was the man she liked. No one could get close to him, not even men or women. Where is the young emperor? Ah? In T. T? Okay, I got it. Don't worry, I'll compliment you more in front of Tang Go in the future. By then, you'll definitely have a meteoric rise. Ah, thank you. The staff was completely dumbfounded. However, it wasn't bad to be favored by the lady boss. Chen Yao turned around and walked towards T. The staff member was stunned when he saw the direction Chen Yao went. Was she going to find trouble with the young master? But was he sure? She actually dared to cause trouble for the young master? Was this for real? The staff member was a little frightened. Xiao Ding walked over. What's wrong? Why did she go to T? Xiao Ding also saw Chen Yao walking towards T and was puzzled. I don't know if I should say it. I might have accidentally said something wrong. Tang Bao walked out of the office and was about to go to the meeting room when he almost bumped into Xiao Ding, who was entering the office in a panic. What are you doing? Are you in a hurry? Tang Bao frowned. President Tang, your wife might have gone to find the young emperor. Wife? What the hell? Yes. No, who is my wife? Why would she go to find the young emperor? Xiao Ding said, Isn't the woman who was looking for you just now your wife? What nonsense are you talking about? Tang Bao cursed in his heart. What did he do to give her such an illusion? Isn't it? But she went to T to find the young emperor. Tang Bao had a headache. Why did she go to find the young emperor? Because she found out that the roses you bought were sent to T and given to the young emperor. So, F***CK. Tang Bao finally burst out with vulgarities. She turned around and ran towards T. She hoped that the person at the front desk would open her eyes and not let that lunatic Chen Yao go in. Damn it, why did such things always happen to her? Tang Bao felt that if she ran as fast as she did when she was in school, she wouldn't have failed her sports exam. She rushed to the front desk of T. Did a woman come in? Wearing a beige dress? Ah, she went to the young emperor's office. Why did you let her go up? Tang Bao was going crazy. The receptionist was dumbfounded. What was wrong with President Tang? Oh, it was as if he was facing a great enemy. President Tang, don't misunderstand. That woman shouldn't have anything to do with the young emperor. Tang Bao was depressed. Who asked her this? She stopped talking and quickly turned around and ran towards Di Haotian's office. Tang Bao had never felt that the elevator was as slow as it was today. She couldn't wait to grow wings on her back so that she could fly up immediately. Tang Bao rushed directly into Di Haotian's office like a rocket. Inside, there were Gu Linshan, Di Haotian, the secretary, and Chen Yao. Tang Bao felt that she was about to suffocate, especially when she saw the creepy smile on Di Haotian's face. Are you done? I'm done. Tang Bao's smile was especially stiff. Did Di Haotian already know something? If he didn't know something, why would Chen Yao be standing here? And she had said that Chen Yao was a lunatic. At this time, she still couldn't take the hint. She angrily pulled Tang Bao to the vase. Did you give this to him? Why did you give roses to another man? Explain it to me clearly. Tang Bao closed her eyes in despair. Questioning was one thing, but why was she being so aggressive, as if he had betrayed her? The atmosphere in the entire office suddenly dropped. It felt like they had fallen into hell. Tang Bao felt cold all over. She flung Chen Yao's hand away. Because I like men. I like that person. Tang Bao pointed directly at Di Haotian. In this life, I will only give him flowers. I only like him. Without him, I would choose to die. Do you understand? Di Haotian, do you understand? My feelings for you can be seen by the sun and the moon. She said this for Di Haotian to hear. She hoped that he wouldn't be angry. Then what am I? Chen Yao felt so wrong that she wanted to cry. Tang Bao was about to speak when Di Haotian said coldly, Yeah, what is she? I really want to know. Tang Bao looked at Di Haotian pitifully. She looked especially innocent. She wanted to cry even more, okay? Hongcha 866. Chapter 1132. Now she finally understood what it meant to have a disaster fall from the sky. Gu Linshan had no intention of leaving. It would be a pity if he didn't watch such a good show. The secretary wanted to leave, but he felt that if he stood up now, would he be too conspicuous? What if he was swept away? Lose his job? Thinking about his promising career, he didn't dare to move. He tried to shrink his body as much as possible. Say something, why aren't you saying anything? How can you like men? I don't believe it. Chen Yao refused to give up. Tang Bao really wanted to knock her out with a brick. But if Chen Yao fainting could solve the problem, he would really do it. I like men. The news I saw on the internet is true. Then why are you still in a room with a woman? Are you bisexual? Tang Bao's head was about to explode. Go, go, go. Get out now. As he spoke, he pushed Chen Yao. You're not allowed to leave. Di Haotian ordered. Tang Bao was about to go crazy. Di Haotian, can you stop fooling around? I'm fooling around? Di Haotian's eyes sharpened with a scary glow. Tang Bao was so scared that he shrank back. Then, he vented his anger on Chen Yao. What's wrong with you? I've only met you 3 times. Can you stop acting like you're my girlfriend? Isn't 3 times enough? The first time you looked at me, I felt that you liked me. You always give me that feeling. Tang Bao was stunned. Then, he was so angry that he laughed. What are you laughing at? Chen Yao asked. Tang Bao laughed and didn't say anything. She felt that she would really go crazy if she talked to a lunatic. Tanga? Chen Yao asked. Are you so happy because you saw me? Are you the director of a mental hospital? Tang Bao was furious. Chen Yao wanted to say something, but Di Haotian said coldly, Are you two done looking? If you're done, then get out. Gu Linshan's expression turned ugly. Who wants to see it? Really, I've never seen someone like you who would burn the bridge after crossing it. You can even anger me by doing business. After saying that, he stood up. The secretary ran very quickly. By the time Gu Linshan stood up, he was already out of the room. When Gu Linshan walked past Tang Bao, he said, You're really lucky with women. Then, he sneered and left. Tang Bao. What a guy who kicked a man when he was down. Then, she met Di Haotian's cold and ruthless eyes, and her scalp went numb. Chen Yao, who was here, had no intention of leaving. Her eyes were fixed on her. There was a strong signal in his eyes that said, I like you. Tang Bao felt that it was useless to talk. Look carefully, there's only one person I like. After Tang Bao finished speaking, he walked in front of Di Haotian and kissed his thin lip. His hands were still wrapped around Di Haotian's neck. It wasn't just a kiss, it was a deep kiss. It was active and passionate. Di Haotian's heart twitched slightly. It felt so good to be kissed by her forcefully. Wait, what was he thinking? He was angry. Chen Yao, who was standing there, watched in disbelief as Tang Bao kissed a man forcefully. She didn't move. Tang Bao kissed himself until he was dizzy. Then, he looked at Chen Yao. Did you see clearly? What was this? In order to prove his sexual orientation, he had to kiss Di Haotian in front of a woman. If possible, she really wanted to take off her clothes and let Chen Yao see clearly. Tang Gu, are you kissing a man on purpose to anger me? I don't believe that you like a man. Tang Bao thought, what do you mean? Do you want me to do it on the spot for you to believe me? He felt that he couldn't communicate with Chen Yao anymore. I'll call your brother. You don't have to call him. I'll leave on my own, okay? But it's true that I like you. I hope you won't continue to hurt my heart. With that, Chen Yao left. Tang Bao watched as the office door closed. The sudden silence seemed so unsettling. The danger and oppression in the air made her nervous, especially when she was still sitting on Di Haotian. So, she stood up and stood a few steps away. Looking at the thin lips that were a little red from her kiss, she smiled embarrassedly and asked, You don't really believe what Chen Yao said, do you? You can see that she's not normal. Tang Bao nodded and told Di Haotian that there was something wrong with Chen Yao's brain. So, you're saying that if I'm calculative, my brain will be the same as hers? Di Haotian asked calmly and terrifyingly. Tang Bao nodded and then shook his head violently. Di Haotian leaned back slightly, looking lazy but dangerous. Indeed. You have good luck with women. You're even better at attracting women than I am. How can that be? The number of women who like you can circle the earth 3 times. Tang Bao immediately flattered him. Di Haotian's gaze sharpened. So, you want to compare yourself with me? Tang Bao took a step back and looked at him guardedly. Di Haotian, let me tell you, you really can't blame me for this. I'm really in trouble. I don't even know what's wrong with this Chen Yao. I'm inexplicably entangled with her. I'm also in a dilemma, okay? Previously, I've already avoided women as much as I could. I also don't know why this Chen Yao would like me. Who is she? Di Haotian asked coldly. She's Meng Shi's sister. Tang Bao felt that it was better to be honest. Humph. Di Haotian suddenly sneered. It's not enough to have Meng Shi. Now that both siblings have taken a liking to you, how are you going to deal with them? Meng Shi is my artist. That's impossible. Chen Yao is even more difficult to deal with. After all, I'm a woman. Tang Bao inched to Di Haotian's side. Di Haotian, look, I've already said it very clearly. I only like you. If you don't believe me, you can touch my heart and feel it. As Tang Bao spoke, he grabbed Di Haotian's hand and placed it on his heart. Are you seducing me? Di Haotian asked. Tang Bao's gaze was hooked. Am I? I don't think so. Di Haotian's hand tightened. Tang Bao's whole body trembled. He looked at Di Haotian with watery eyes and asked, "Such a big one. Do you like it?" "It's useless to seduce me." Di Haotian withdrew his hand and looked at the document in his hand. It was a report about the Lin Group. However, his hand was reluctant to let go. Tang Bao looked at the document in his hand and snatched it away. Then, he saw the reaction that he couldn't look at. "You call this useless? Do you think I can't see it just because you're hiding it?" Di Haotian's face stiffened. He didn't want to have a reaction, but this kind of thing was out of his control. It was as if this thing didn't grow on him, but on Tang Bao. Tang Bao struck while the iron was hot. He sat directly on Di Haotian and hugged him. "Don't be angry. I'm clearly a woman, but I still have to explain such a thing to you. I'm very pitiful too, okay? I need comfort." Xinwu 799. Chapter 1133. Di Haotian's lower abdomen tightened, and his breathing became labored. This little thing was doing it on purpose. "Dear hubby, since I like you so much, can you not be angry?" Tang Bao acted coquettishly and shamelessly. She looked at Di Haotian's tense face and laughed in her heart, but she still pretended to be innocent. "You are the most amazing man in my heart, the man I like the most. Don't be angry, okay?" Tang Bao looked at Di Haotian, who was still holding back. The veins on his forehead were popping out. Tang Bao thought to herself, "Let's see how long you can hold back." Hence, she slid down from Di Haotian's lap like a fish, tilted to the side, and kissed him. Di Haotian's body suddenly tensed up and he growled. Tang Bao's face turned red. Wasn't this reaction too big? However, other than coaxing Di Haotian like this, she really couldn't think of any other way. However, just as she stuck out her red and tender tongue, the office door was pushed open. Tang Bao froze and turned around. She saw Gu Linshan coming back and Luoluoli following behind him. Luoluoli stared at Tang Bao in shock. Di Haotian covered his eyes with the documents beside him and looked at Gu Linshan with a malicious expression. He wanted to kill Gu Linshan immediately. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to disturb you. It's just that Luoli said she wanted to say goodbye to her, so I came," Gu Linshan said apologetically, but it didn't feel like he was apologizing at all. At this moment, Tang Bao held her face and fell into the sofa. She thought to herself, let her explode on the spot. She was too ashamed to face anyone. Then, Gu Linshan pulled Luoluoli, who was in a daze, over and educated her on the spot. "See? Next time, if I'm angry, you can comfort me like this. It's more effective than anything else." Luoluoli blushed and ran away. She did not expect the Tang Bao to behave like this in front of Di Haotian. It was really exciting. "Please continue," Gu Linshan said and turned to leave. He even closed the door for them. However, Tang Bao was no longer in the mood to coax Di Haotian. She was about to go crazy and collapsed on the sofa in despair. "I don't want to see anyone, I don't want to see anyone," Tang Bao wailed. "Continue," Di Haotian ordered. Tang Bao suddenly sat up from the sofa and complained, "Are you still human? I'm already like this, and you still want me to continue?" "How is it?" Di Haotian asked, even though he already knew the answer. "When I was doing that, I was. You said it yourself. How am I supposed to meet people?" Tang Bao wanted to cry but had no tears. Why was she so unlucky? She was the first to be seen by Gu Linshan and Luoluoli. Thinking about it, she wished that she could turn back time so that she would never do that again. Even if Di Haotian was angry with her. "Forget it, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. I'm going back." Tang Bao got down from the sofa. She was on the verge of breaking down. Di Haotian looked at her desperate expression and a deep smile flashed across his dark eyes. He grabbed her wrist and pulled her to sit on his lap. "What else do you want? Anyway, I won't continue. You're not allowed to force me. If you force me again, I'll lose my temper," Tang Bao said with a red face. This kind of thing was very shameful in itself. However, this kind of shame should have been hidden, but it was suddenly exposed in front of others. She did not want to lose face. "I'm not angry anymore," Di Haotian said. Tang Bao was not very happy when she heard him say that. Did she still care whether Di Haotian was appeased or not? Now, she was completely traumatized by the shameful thing she had done. "Di Haotian, you're so powerful. Can you turn back time?" Tang Bao placed her only hope on Di Haotian. "I can't. However, I can make them mute." "Mute? No, dead people can't speak." "Could you be any more ruthless? You were still dividing the Lin group with others, but now you want to silence them. How could you say that?" Tang Bao did not care about Gu Linshan's life or death, but she would not hurt Luololi. "Forget it, I'll just bear it myself," Tang Bao said in despair. Di Haotian held her head and pressed her lips against his. He kissed her directly. Tang Bao blushed and blinked her eyes. Her long eyelashes brushed against Di Haotian's face and seemed to tickle the bottom of his heart. "Do you think I should tie you to the bed and not come down? Or kill the chicken to warn the monkey? This way, no one will dare to covet my woman," Di Haotian said against her lips. "Kill which chicken?" Tang Bao asked instinctively. It was so strange that she spoke against his lips. "I want to kill all of them. Hubby, I advise you to be kind." "Ha!" Di Haotian swept away his previous displeasure and laughed loudly. It was so deep and intimidating. Tang Bao looked at him laughing and bit her lip. It was better to laugh than to keep a cold face. In the afternoon, Tang Bao was well-behaved and obedient under Di Haotian's gaze. Even when they returned to the castle, she was always by Di Haotian's side. Di Haotian was not busy with anything. He would watch television with her or use her phone while he watched television. It was not until the next morning that Tang Bao had the time to call Meng Shi. In fact, she could not wait to make the call yesterday. However, she did not dare to provoke Di Haotian again, and could only endure it. When the call went through, Meng Shi's coquettish voice came through. "Little Tang Tang, did you miss me?" Tang Bao knew that she could not call Meng Shi in front of Di Haotian. Otherwise, she and Meng Shi would be in trouble. Even if she and Meng Shi were innocent, she could not speak like this. "Speak properly," Tang Bao said sternly. "Are you angry? What's wrong with me calling you that? This shows that I care about you a lot. I know that you don't have that kind of interest in me, but you can't stop my thoughts." Tang Bao facepalmed. "His thoughts? Forget it, let's not talk about him for now." Thus, Tang Bao told him about Chen Yao. "Your sister, why are you scolding me?" Meng Shi felt wronged. "I'm referring to Chen Yao." Meng Shi immediately tensed up. "What's wrong with her? Did she go to cause trouble for you?" "Yes, and she caused quite a lot of trouble. She went straight to tea to look for Di Haotian. She said that she likes me and I like her. It was very scary. You have to control her and stop making trouble like this. I'm afraid that when the time comes, Di Haotian will not be able to control himself and destroy her." Tang Bao was not exaggerating. She could pacify him for a while, but she could not pacify him forever. If Di Haotian was really angry, she would also have to hide. How could she still care about Chen Yao? This wretched girl, I knew that nothing good would come out of her entering the entertainment industry. How could my Chen family give birth to such an idiot? Don't worry, I will deal with her. But what? Tang Bao was slightly puzzled by Meng Shi's but. Come and see. Xinwu 799. Chapter 1134. Are you showing off your love to me? But Tanggu, I'll do anything for you. I'm not worse than Di Haotian. I'll protect you and make you happy for the rest of your life, Meng Shi confessed over the phone. What's the difference between you and your sister? Tang Bao asked back. Can you save me some trouble? Your sister doesn't understand what I'm saying, but don't you understand? Why didn't I call you in front of Di Haotian? Isn't it because I'm afraid that he'll do something to you? When Tang Bao said this, a black figure appeared at the door of the office. He was tall, had a strong aura, and was cold and gloomy. Tang Bao didn't notice him at all. He was angry with Meng Shi. "Tang Go, are you worried about me?" Meng Shi held it in for a long time and spat out this sentence. Tang Bao felt a headache coming on. What was this person's main point after talking for so long? "You're my artist. What's wrong with worrying about you? Don't cause me any more trouble. Also, your sister wants to come to my studio. You should get rid of her idea as soon as possible." "Okay. How can I let others compete with me for your favor? Don't even think about it. Tang Go, you're mine." After saying this, Meng Shi hung up the phone. Tang Bao stared at his phone screen in a daze. They were indeed brother and sister. They were almost the same. Meng Shi had obviously rejected her and told her that she was a famous flower. Meng Shi had been well behaved for a while, but why did he start again recently? As for Chunyao, she wasn't too worried. Anyway, they were both women, so there was no pressure to deal with it. But how should she deal with Meng Shi? He was her artist, and she had always been protective of him at work. But when it came to feelings, she really couldn't do anything. How could she have any entanglements with a man other than Di Haotian? "How did you find out about me?" A low and cold voice sounded. Tang Bao was so scared that his hand trembled and his phone almost fell to the ground. He turned around and looked at Di Haotian, who was walking in. His aura was cold and oppressive. It was frightening. Why is Di Haotian here? Did he overhear what I said on the phone? Tang Bao immediately smiled with a fawning expression and asked, "Di Haotian, why didn't you tell me you were coming? What a surprise." "Surprise? I think it's more of a surprise than a joy." Di Haotian's powerful aura was overflowing, and he looked at her with a malicious expression. "Of course I'm surprised and happy," Tang Bao muttered in a low voice. Di Haotian's face was extremely gloomy. His black eyes were ferocious and oppressive. He then turned around and left. Tang Bao was dumbfounded. Why did Di Haotian leave just like that? F***ck, he's angry. Even now, she had to go and comfort Di Haotian from time to time. Thinking about what he said on the phone just now, Tang Bao's head hurt and she chased after him. "Di Haotian, wait for me. I have something to tell you." However, Di Haotian walked straight to the staircase and pretended not to hear her. Tang Bao ran over and blocked Di Haotian's path. He continued to smile fawningly and said, "It's my fault. No, I didn't do anything wrong. Am I right?" Di Haotian glanced at him coldly and continued to walk forward. Tang Bao continued to block him and compromised. Okay. It's my fault. I apologize to you." Di Haotian looked at her with a malicious expression. His sharp and cold gaze seemed to penetrate her eyes. Both of them were standing at the staircase. One of them was standing tall and straight, while the other was bending over to pull Di Haotian's arm and smiling fawningly. It was obvious what was going on. The staff downstairs saw it, but they did not dare to look at it. It was fine if their president Tang could look, but they did not dare to be rash with the king of D City next door. However, although they were facing their work, their ears were perked up to listen. "Don't be angry. I've already apologized to you. This is a small matter. Can't you smile?" The staff downstairs. "Did you come to look for me for something? Let's go back to the office and talk. They're all here. Can you save me some face?" Tang Bao deliberately lowered his voice. The staff thought, what did President Tang say? His voice was too soft to hear. "What face do you want?" Di Haotian asked coldly in a low voice. The staff suddenly understood. Ah, so President Tang was asking for face from young Master Di this. Tang Bao looked at the staff downstairs who were working on their computers and said in a pleading tone, "I'm really sincerely apologizing to you. It's my fault. No matter what I did wrong, let's go back to the office first." Then, he pulled Di Haotian back into the office. Then, he closed the office door tightly to ensure that no one would come in. Di Haotian looked coldly at her guilty expression. After Tang Bao finished all the confidentiality work, he walked in front of Di Haotian. I actually just made a call to Meng Shi and asked him to help solve his sister's problem. Wasn't Chen Yao his sister? I was afraid that you would be unhappy, that's why I did that. I did all of this for our own good. Then explain. What do you mean by you're worried about other men? Tang Bao understood what Di Haotian was referring to. He's what I meant. It's normal to be worried, right? And I'm worried about work, nothing else. You're thinking the wrong way. Work is not allowed. Di Haotian's eyes sharpened. It was too scary. Okay. I'm not worried about work. I'm just worried about how much money I have. Is that okay? Tang Bao asked gloomily. You seem to be unwilling? Di Haotian asked in an oppressive manner. Tang Bao was stunned. Then, he smiled and looked extremely happy. Of course not. Why would I be unwilling? I only have you in my heart, Xiao Bao. But did you come to see me for something? Can't I come to see you for nothing? Of course not. Tang Bao went along with him. Even if Di Haotian said that the sun rose from the west, she would still nod. God, she felt that she really spoiled Di Haotian too much. She completely spoiled him without any principles. Everyone else thought that only Di Haotian spoiled her. But in fact, why did Di Haotian look like he was begging to be spoiled every day? Just as Tang Bao was making all kinds of guesses, a shadow covered her. Before she could react, she fell backward and sat on the sofa. His long eyelashes fluttered as he looked at the shadow above him in shock. His handsome face was shrouded in gloom. Tang Bao did not dare to move. I've already been very generous to you. Don't challenge my bottom line. Tang Bao really wanted to ask, how exactly are you being generous? She was just doing her job as usual. Okay, she was a little confused about her relationship, but she did not want to do this. Tang Bao raised his hand and made a swearing gesture. I swear to God, my body is yours. My heart is yours. Heaven and earth can be my witness. Hongcha 866. Chapter 1135. No change in expression could be seen on Di Haotian's face, but Tang Bao could clearly feel that Di Haotian's cold aura had lessened a lot. She was really a pitiful little girl, being oppressed by Di Haotian. Swear? Was this kind of oath useful? But it could soothe Di Haotian's hair. Di Haotian, this time you. Before Tang Bao could finish her words, a shadow covered her and her small mouth was swallowed. Tang Bao was forced to bear it, and her jaw was tightly clamped. In fact, she would not have resisted even if she had not been clamped. This was just because Di Haotian was too domineering and strong. After the kiss, Tang Bao was almost dizzy from the lack of oxygen. Her head rested on the back of the sofa, her vision blurred and her breathing rapid. Attend a banquet with me tonight. What banquet? The successful acquisition of Lin Group. Tang Bao's brain was slow to react. This was too fast, wasn't it? It had only been a few days, and they were celebrating? Hey, Lin Group was still lying unconscious in the hospital. You're holding a celebration banquet? Is this good? It's not good. However, looking at Di Haotian and Gu Linshan's actions, she really did not feel that there was anything bad about it. Therefore, this was the saying that the business world was like a battlefield, and the big fish ate the small fish. If you did not have the ability to protect yourself, you would end up being taken away. Just like between her and Di Haotian, she was also taken away by Di Haotian. If Di Haotian was not as good as Di Junbai, she would now be Di Junbai's woman, not Di Haotian's. Therefore, this kind of thing could not be blamed on others for being too strong, but on herself for being too weak and incompetent. You don't want to go? Di Haotian's eyes were filled with hostility. No. What do I wear tonight? Men's or women's clothes? Tang Bao asked. Men's clothes. You brought a man to attend the banquet with you? Although Tang Bao had already guessed what Di Haotian would say to her, she still couldn't believe it. Di Haotian really didn't care about his reputation at all. She brought a man to an important party. The key point was that this man had a scandal with her. Wasn't this more certain of her identity? Di Haotian asked, "What's the problem?" "I have no problem with that. I'm just worried about your reputation. You think too much." Tang Bao was indeed overthinking, so she did not say anything. However, he thought of another question and asked, "Do you have something to do this afternoon?" "I'm fine. This is a banquet. There's no rush, right? If I go to your place in the afternoon, you can tell me." Tang Bao did not understand. "If I didn't come over, how would I know that you called another man behind my back?" Di Haotian's face was gloomy. "Here we go again." Tang Bao quickly wrapped her arms around Di Haotian's neck and said coquettishly, "No. You're my sweetheart. I only have eyes for you." After saying that, she even kissed Di Haotian on the lip. She was all smiles. Di Haotian looked at the way she changed the topic. Although it was not a very clever way, it was very effective. When he was kissed, the cold air on his body would instantly heat up. To him, Tang Bao had always been someone who did not need any provocation to have a strong reaction, and it was a very strong one. Tang Bao saw that Di Haotian did not say anything and just looked at her. However, the deep and dangerous look in his eyes made Tang Bao instinctively tense up. This feeling was really too familiar. Looking down, Tang Bao's face suddenly froze. She quickly reached out to stop him. "No, no, no. I still have work to do. Besides, lunch is in less than an hour. Don't forget, I still have to attend the banquet tonight. You don't want me to be too tired to go, right?" She used all kinds of reasons to stop Di Haotian. Di Haotian's dark eyes flashed with a devilish luster. "You're right. So, in order to let you have a good night's sleep in the afternoon, it's better to do it now. 1 hour. Can you satisfy me?" Tang Bao knew Di Haotian very well. 1 hour was just a meal. "It's better than nothing." Di Haotian held her chin and was about to kiss her. "Ah, wait!" Tang Bao exclaimed. She stared at him in shock and resisted. "I don't want to. Let me tell you, a forcibly picked melon is not sweet. It's okay. Quench my thirst." Tang Bao was stunned. "Di Haotian, have you become so shameless?" In order to do this, Di Haotian was willing to say anything. "Hurry up," Di Haotian said, and could not wait to kiss Tang Bao's little mouth. Soon, Tang Bao could not take it anymore. "The employees downstairs. Did you guys see it just now? I still think it's like a couple quarreling." "That's right. And it's President Tang who made the young master angry." Xiao Ding, who was standing at the side, felt like the wall of self-deception was about to change sides. Seriously, she could not refute for Tang Gu. That was really a quarrel between a couple. Tang Gu even pulled Di Haotian back to the office. That scene was too sweet, wasn't it? Why do you think the young master and President Tang haven't come out of the office yet? I don't know. Could it be that they kissed and hugged each other too high? Doesn't President Tang have a family? It should be brotherly love, right? Can you not speak against your conscience? Brotherly love can be seen at a glance. That's right. The way the young master looks at President Tang is not right, okay? It's completely doting. Even if he's angry, it seems like he's doting on President Tang from head to toe. It would be a pity if President Tang is married. How good would it be if he's divorced? Then he can follow the young master legitimately. I think President Tang definitely doesn't love his wife at home. Marriage is just a smokescreen. The person he really loves is the young master. I think so too. When they said it out loud, their minds were immediately filled with various versions of true love. Xiao Ding could not listen anymore. She did not want to participate, but she could not let this trend grow. Even if it was true, it was Tang Ji's business. They should not talk about it here. Don't talk nonsense here. Work is more important. Don't forget, our drama is about to start filming, Xiao Ding reminded. Sister Ding, don't worry. When it's time to work, we will definitely not drag you down. It's the same for gossip. That's right. Also, we're not talking nonsense. Sister Ding, didn't you see it just now? To be honest, if the young master and President Tang really love each other, we won't discriminate. Instead, we hope that they can be together. They look so compatible, even more so than the male and female leads in novels. Xiao Ding, this bunch of fujoshis. Tang Bao only took a nap in the afternoon. As the filming was about to start, she had to be prepared, so she wanted to go back to the studio. However, Di Haotian did not allow it. Why? Tang Bao was stunned. Di Haotian, I have my own company. Don't mess around. My drama is about to start. Bring it here. Ah? Here? Are you kidding me? Di Haotian's office has become my office? Attention. Hongcha 866. Chapter 1136. Is there a problem? Di Haotian's dark eyes looked at her sharply, and his aura was very oppressive. No. She didn't dare to say that there was. I'll go get it. What are the employees below for? Get them to bring it over. Di Haotian was not angry. Tang Bao was speechless. But she couldn't persuade Di Haotian, so she could only call someone to bring it over. Sister Ding, what are you doing? Xiao Ding carried the notebook and other documents downstairs and was asked by the staff. Bring it to President Tang. The staff was in disbelief. So, you're going to the young master's office? A female employee came over with a generous look on her face. Sister Ding, leave this kind of hard work to me. I'll do it. You can rest. No, I'll do it. Sister Ding usually takes care of me. It's best if I do it. No, I'll go. Sister Ding paid for the bus fare home yesterday. I can't be too ungrateful. Don't fight with me. Go aside. Sister Ding, I'll go. I'll go. I'll go. Xiao Ding looked at the staff fighting to be the first and felt a headache coming on. Couldn't she understand what they were thinking? I'm President Tang's assistant. If I don't do it, what will President Tang think of me? And this is my duty. You have your work too. After Xiao Ding finished speaking, she walked out of the studio and headed towards tea. The staff could only stomp their feet. It was a pity. Why weren't they President Tang's assistants? Did President Tang still need an assistant? Xiao Ding smoothly sent the document to the highest authoritative floor. Sitting in the elevator, she felt her legs go weak, and she was very nervous. Sigh, people who haven't seen the world are like this. Most importantly, she was frightened by the aura inside. It was as if the young master's aura was everywhere. When she reached the office door, she was a little nervous. Should she knock or call President Tang? She felt that this door wasn't something a commoner like her could touch. Have you brought the documents? The secretary walked over. Xiao Ding looked at the man wearing glasses. He was tall, slender, and had the aura of an elite. She quickly said, Yes, President Tang asked me to bring it over. Give it to me, I'll bring it over. Oh, okay, thank you. You're welcome. You're the assistant and I'm the secretary. Maybe we'll have more contact in the future. Yes. Xiao Ding was a little confused as he watched the secretary knock on the door and enter. The door closed again. Was this person the young master's secretary? What an elite. The people in the studio said that young Master D's secretary's academic qualifications were very high. She was the kind of top student who skipped grades. That's right. To be the young master's secretary, one needs to be very observant and intelligent. Otherwise, one wouldn't be able to keep up with the young master's pace. The difference between them was like the difference between heaven and earth, okay? This was the elite man that the group of women in the studio wanted. Every day they wanted to meet the elite of tea. But until now, no one had been seduced. Looks like he's not easy to hook up with. That's right, if he's so easy to hook up with, how can he survive in tea? The door opened and the secretary walked out. The documents are complete. There's no problem. All right, then I'll be leaving. Xiao Ding turned around and left. The secretary was also about to turn around, but she realized that the little assistant was actually walking with her hands and feet. Why was she so nervous for the first time at tea? Xiao Ding only returned to normal after walking out of tea. She covered her chest with her hand. Her heart was still beating so fast. She steadied herself before heading to the studio. As soon as she entered, she was surrounded by people. Sister Ding, how was it? What do you mean, how was it? Xiao Ding was shocked by the enthusiastic treatment. What's the young master's office like? Wasn't it especially imposing? Luxurious? Are you amazed? I didn't go in, Xiao Ding said. You didn't go in? Why didn't you go in? The others found it a pity. Do you think that anyone can enter the young master's office? You're thinking too much. Xiao Ding pushed them away and went to her seat. The staff followed her. Sister Ding, did you see the young master's secretary? I saw him. Is he very handsome? No, young Master D. Xiao Ding told the truth. That's for sure. I saw him from afar before. Although he's not particularly handsome, he's still very charming. That's right. Xiao Ding glanced at them and thought, as long as he's an elite at tea, you'll all say that he's handsome. Don't you think I don't know you? Tang Bao worked in Di Haotian's office for the whole afternoon. When she was hungry, food and drinks were sent up. Di Haotian even sent it to her mouth. She only realized that Di Haotian fed it when she ate it. It made her blush and she had to pretend to be calm. This made her lose the mood to work, so she simply asked Di Haotian to stay away from her. Otherwise, she would go back to the studio. Di Haotian could only sit back in his seat with a cold face. The afternoon's work was done quite well. Just as she put away her work, Di Haotian's phone rang. If his phone rang, it couldn't be an internal matter at tea. Di Haotian looked at it and answered. Daddy. What's the matter? Di Haotian's voice softened. When Tang Bao heard this voice, he knew that it was the children who were calling. Otherwise, Di Haotian wouldn't have such a voice. I want to take Xiao Bao and the others to the dessert shop to buy some food. Calculating the time, the car that would pick up the children should be on the way. Di Haotian agreed. Okay. Pass the phone to Zhang Chao. Young Master D, Zhang Chao said. Go back after you buy the food. Don't stay outside. Yes. Di Haotian hung up. Tang Bao had already walked in front of Di Haotian and asked, What's wrong? The car is on the way. We're going to buy some cake. It's Air Bao, right? Yes. It must be to coax Xiao Bao. He's simply a sissy maniac. Di Haotian pulled her over and made her fall on his body. Why are you jealous? Tang Bao met Di Haotian's dangerous black eyes and said, No. Even if it wasn't dangerous, she wouldn't say that she was jealous. It was a good thing that he was good to Xiao Bao. You don't need anything else as long as you have your husband to dote on you. Although she wasn't jealous, Di Haotian's words were cold and domineering. That's my son. What's wrong with my son doting on me? Is that not allowed? It's good that you know. Tang Bao pulled Di Haotian's face with her two small hands. You're so domineering. The children got out of the car and were escorted into the dessert shop by the bodyguard. When Xiao Bao entered, she was attracted by the cakes inside. Although there were cakes at home, they were different from those outside. Hence, she looked at the cakes placed in the glass window with envy. Bao asked, Do you like them? Xiao Bao nodded. I like them. Bao said to the shop assistant domineeringly, I want all of them. Xinwu 799. Chapter 1137. The salesperson was stunned. All of them? There were more than 60 of them inside. Was this for real? Should she listen to a child's words? But that gaze of his made it hard for her to refuse. Zhang Chao walked over. Pack them all up. Yes. The salesperson couldn't help but take another look at Zhang Chao. She thought to herself, this is the first time I've seen such a way of buying a cake. And with the bodyguards outside, The salesperson didn't dare to be negligent at all. She quickly followed the other employees to pack the cake. Brother, isn't this too much? I can't finish it. Xiaobao tugged at Erbao's clothes timidly. Di Bowling leaned against the glass cabinet nonchalantly and said, "Throw it away if you can't finish it." Xiaobao didn't say anything. "It's okay. I'll eat it with you. If you can't finish it, just put it in the fridge," Erbao said. "Okay. I want to give it to Mommy too. Mommy likes it too." Xiaobao smiled happily at the thought of her mommy. Di Bowling didn't say anything. Even if the cake was put in the fridge, it would be thrown away as a disposal product. Everything in the castle was fresh, but they would make an identical cake before throwing it away. She thought he didn't know. Just then, a customer came in to buy dessert. It was a woman in her 30s holding a 3-year-old girl's hand. The girl's face was still covered in tears. Xiaobao looked over and felt that she was a little pitiful. Why was she crying? "Aya, why are there no desserts?" the woman asked as she looked at the empty glass cabinet. "I'm sorry. If you want it, you have to wait for us to make it," the employee said apologetically. "How long will it take?" the woman asked. 2 hours. So long? I still have to take the child to the hobby class. I don't have time. Can't you hurry up? The woman asked. "I'm sorry. If I hurry, the cake won't be able to make it." Woo-woo. The little girl who was being held cried again. The woman was a little impatient. "Can you stop crying? You cry so easily. What's there to cry about?" "I'm sorry, Mommy. You're either apologizing or crying all day long. Do you have any good points? Are you trying to anger me to death?" The woman was furious. "Mommy, right, don't apologize. If you really let me down, then leave with your biological mother," the woman said angrily. Xiaobao's expression changed. She stared blankly at the little girl who looked just like her. The woman was resentful. "I shouldn't have adopted you back then. You're not my biological child. How much have I suffered for you? Look, I got hurt because of you." As he spoke, he pulled up his sleeves and showed it to the little girl. His arm was full of blisters, as if he had been scalded by something. It was so disgusting that Xiaobao took a step back in fright. It was as if the blistered flesh had grown on her mother's arm. She didn't want it. "Why do you insist on following me? I've only raised you for 3 years. I'm just your adoptive mother. I'm not related to you by blood. Why didn't you leave with your biological mother when she came over yesterday?" Why?" Erbao immediately pulled Xiaobao, who was in a daze, over. "Let's go." Xiaobao forcefully pulled her hand back. Erbao was stunned. "What's wrong?" Xiaobao's eyes were filled with tears. "Brother, give my cake to her, okay? I have a lot of it anyway." Erbao didn't want to give it to her. He felt that he shouldn't throw it away. But seeing that Xiaobao was about to cry, he could only say to Zhang Chao, "Give it to both of them." With that said, he pulled Xiaobao's hand and dragged her out of the cake shop. Zhang Chao gave the cake to the mother and daughter. The woman immediately smiled and said, "Thank you, thank you." Zhang Chao asked the little girl, "Is this your mommy?" The little girl nodded fearfully. The woman quickly said, "Yes, she's adopted. I didn't want to raise her at all." "Since you raised her, you should be responsible. You shouldn't say such things in public. It's traumatizing for the child." The woman really wanted to say, "Aren't you being a busybody?" But this man didn't look like someone to be trifled with. She nodded and smiled. "Okay, I'll be careful next time." After Zhang Chao left, Mia, whose back was facing them, turned around and looked at the mother and daughter who were about to leave. She thought of a good plan and smiled. She was passing by and wanted to buy herself something to drink. She didn't expect to see such a scene. The heavens really had eyes. Xiaobao, who was sitting in the car, was even more silent than before. She looked out of the car window and didn't say a word. Erbao looked at Xiaobao and knew that she was overthinking what had just happened. Then, he saw the silent Xiaobao cry. Di Bowling's expression was cold as he frowned. Why are you crying? Other people's business has nothing to do with you. Xiao Bao rubbed her eyes with her little hand and wiped away her tears. I'm not crying. How can that person be compared to Mommy? Di Bowling asked, his expression not looking too good. Xiao Bao quickly shook her head, not because she was afraid of Di Bowling, but because she didn't want to confuse that woman with Mommy. After returning to the castle, Zhongli saw that Xiao Bao's eyes were red and asked anxiously, "What's wrong? Who bullied you? I'll beat him to death." "No one bullied me," Xiao Bao said pitifully. "If no one, then why are your eyes red? Io, don't cry. My heart will ache." Zhongli was afraid that her tears would fall and said quickly. Then, he asked Zhang Chao behind him, "What's wrong?" Zhang Chao shook his head. Zhongli understood the look and pulled the three children down. Lian walked over. "What happened?" Zhang Chao told him what happened in the dessert shop. Lian was also conflicted. "How did something like this happen? I didn't expect it either. If I knew, I definitely wouldn't have brought them to the dessert shop." Tang Bao followed Di Haotian to the banquet. Gu Linshan and Luoluoli were also there. However, Luoluoli was a woman, while Tang Bao was a man. Originally, they were both Di Haotian and Gu Linshan's companions. Later on, it was the two of them who fought. "You asked us to come, but you didn't even let us drink." The two of them walked to a corner with food next to them. Tang Bao complained as she ate. "You, on the other hand, drank fruit juice. Because I'm a woman and you're a man." Luoluoli laughed at her. "If young master didn't drink for you, who knows how drunk you would have been. Besides, you drank the same as me later on. How can it be the same? I'm a man. It's good to drink fruit juice and hold a glass of wine." Tang Bao frowned. "I should have worn women's clothes. To be honest, I'm used to wearing men's clothes. I'm not used to wearing women's clothes anymore. It's okay. It's best if young master likes it." Tang Bao thought that if Di Haotian liked it, then he would make her wear men's clothes for the rest of her life so that others wouldn't see her. She didn't struggle. She worked in the entertainment industry and had all kinds of flashy things. If she provoked anything, Di Haotian would skin her alive. Beauty novel, Hongcha 866. Chapter 1138. Just as the two of them were chatting, someone was whispering around the corner. "Is that man just now young Master Di's confidant? I didn't expect this gigolo to be so good-looking." Tang Bao thought to himself, weren't they talking about him? He was helpless against Luoluoli's smile. It would be strange if she wasn't being talked about in men's clothing. Yeah, he's even more attractive than a woman. I'm about to be turned gay. That's right. He's fair and beautiful. It's normal for men to have a reaction. At first, I was wondering why the king of D City found a man. Now, I feel that this is the true nature of men. If he wasn't the king of D City's man, I would definitely take him down tonight and have a taste of a man. The more Tang Bao heard these words, the more uncomfortable he felt. He clenched the glass in his hand and wanted to throw it over. Luoluoli's expression was also ugly. I didn't expect such a filthy person to be in a place like this. This is a man's bad habit. After Tang Bao finished speaking, he walked towards the corner. His sudden appearance shocked the three men who were talking. Tang Bao had a smile on his face, but his eyes were very cold. "What did you say just now? I didn't hear you clearly. Say it again?" We didn't say anything. President Tang, please don't misunderstand. Yes, if we really accidentally offended you, please forgive us." "Forgive us?" Tang Bao asked. "Yes, please forgive us." They could offend this man, but they couldn't afford to offend the king of D City behind him. They didn't want to be unable to stay in D City. Di Haotian looked over, sharp and cold. "I've always been easy to talk to. Since you're asking for forgiveness, I'll give you a chance." Tang Bao looked at the table next to him. There were small plates of mustard. Then, she took 2 plates and poured them into the 3 men's wine glasses. Then, she used chopsticks to mix them evenly. Luoluoli, who was standing at the side, understood Tang Bao's intention. These three people really deserved it. Their mouths were dirty. If it weren't for the fact that this wasn't the right place, she would have added fuel to the fire. Alright, you can drink now. Wine with mustard should taste good. Tang Bao urged them to drink. The three of them looked at each other with fear in their eyes. Not only did it add a lot of mustard, but it was also mixed with wine. Was it drinkable? Why, you don't like it? I was kind enough to mix it up for you. Besides, didn't you ask for my forgiveness? Tang Bao retorted. There was a smile on her face, but no one could feel her friendliness. They also noticed that not far away, Di Haotian was looking at them with cold eyes. How could they not dare to drink? The three of them immediately gritted their teeth and poured the wine into their mouth. He spat out the first mouthful and choked on it, his face contorted. Tang Bao did not want to let them go. Continue. If you spit it out again, I'll make you drink 3 more cups. The 3 men closed their eyes, pinched their noses, and drank all the wine in the cup. After drinking, the 3 men were in pain. Tears and snot came out, and they were in a sorry state. Next time, use your brain when you speak. Don't let others hear you. Next time, you won't be drinking mustard and wine, but poison. After Tang Bao finished speaking, he turned around and left with Luoluoli. Di Haotian, who was standing in the distance, did not go forward. He said to He Ju next to him, "Check the name list of these 3 people." Yes. In the castle, Di Haotian and Tang Bao had not returned yet. Among the 3 children, Xiao Bao was the one who needed to be cared for the most, not to mention that such an unpleasant thing had happened today. Zhang Li had already learned from Lian. She did not expect to encounter such a thing when she went to buy desserts. Xiao Bao was young, but she was very sensitive about the fact that she was not Tang Bao's biological child. From the first day, she could not accept the fact that she was not Tang Bao's biological child. Usually, Tang Bao would also instruct Zhang Li to pay more attention to Xiao Bao. At this moment, he had stayed in Xiao Bao's room for a long time and read fairy tales to her. However, Xiao Bao did not sleep at all. Her eyes were wide open, and she did not look sleepy at all. "Aren't you going to sleep? Is there something on your mind?" Zhang Li looked at her soft and pitiful appearance and asked softly. "Will Mommy be hurt?" Xiao Bao asked worriedly. Zhang Li laughed when he heard that. "Of course not. Young master is so powerful, how could he hurt her? Also, Xiao Bao must be asking because she loves Mommy. This is normal. But I've seen Mommy's back hurt before. Mommy often has back pain. Is it serious?" Xiao Bao thought of something and asked. This caused Zhang Li to feel slightly unnatural. This was because Zhang Li also knew that Tang Bao had back pain. She had even asked Tang Bao this question before. She was worried that she would not have any problems. Then, she saw that Tang Bao wanted to say something but stopped herself. When her face turned red and she denied it, she understood the reason. It was obvious that this back pain was not normal. So she was worried for nothing. She understood, but Xiao Bao did not. "It's okay. That back pain is normal." Zhang Li could not explain it to the child, so he could only say it perfunctorily. "Normal? Then does your back hurt?" Xiao Bao asked innocently. This will only happen when you grow up and get married." "I see." Xiao Bao still did not understand on a deeper level. She only knew that her back would hurt when she got married. "But when will Mommy come back?" "As long as Xiao Bao falls asleep and opens her eyes, Mommy will come back," Zhang Li said. "Okay." Xiao Bao closed her eyes obediently. She thought that as long as she fell asleep, she would be able to see Mommy when she woke up. When Di Haotian and Tang Bao returned, the 3 children were already asleep. Tang Bao walked into Xiao Bao's room and covered her with a blanket. She was sleeping soundly with a doll in her arms. When she walked out of the room, Zhang Li was waiting for her outside. She asked, "She didn't make a fuss before she went to bed, right?" Xiao Bao has always been a good girl. She doesn't make a fuss. She just asked when you would come back. I told her that she would see you when she woke up after she fell asleep. But young madam, something happened when the children went to buy desserts on their way back today. Tang Bao knew that they went to buy desserts, but she did not know what happened. What happened? Tang Bao asked, his heart in his throat. In the dessert shop, there was a woman with her child. The child was adopted. The woman kept complaining that her adopted daughter was disobedient and said that she had harmed her. When Xiao Bao heard this, she cried when she came back. What? Tang Bao's first thought was that someone had done this on purpose for Xiao Bao to hear. Xiao Bao was already very sensitive about whether she was biological or not. Now that she had encountered such a thing, she had to find out who did it. What's wrong? Tang Bao turned his head and saw Di Haotian walking over. He quickly said, Do you know what happened at the dessert shop? Yes. Songshu 566. Chapter 1139. Someone must have arranged for this to happen on purpose for Xiao Bao to hear. I'm going to investigate. I won't let them off. Tang Bao was furious. Why wouldn't they let a child off? What did Xiao Bao do wrong? Bao, calm down. Di Haotian hugged her. How do you expect me to calm down? Xiao Bao is just a child. This is very detrimental to her growth. She had always treated Xiao Bao as her own daughter. She had watched her grow up obediently, but she had to endure this kind of thing again and again. How could she calm down? Calm down. Was that still Xiao Bao's mother? I've already investigated. Di Haotian's eyes darkened. Yes, I did. Did you find anything? Who is it? Di Junbai or Mia? Or Lan Wanru? One of the three must be. None of them. The mother and daughter are indeed in such a situation. The girl is 3 years old, about the same age as Xiao Bao. The woman didn't bear any children after she got married. Later on, she believed in the superstition of adopting a child to accumulate virtue and good deeds so that she could get pregnant again. Later on, she really did give birth to a son. After that, she hated her daughter. After investigating, we found that the girl was always disliked at home. She was often beaten and scolded. Why did they take her to buy food when they didn't like her? Tang Bao was suspicious. It's because the girl's biological mother gave them money. They treated her better for the money, but they still complained, Di Haotian said. Tang Bao felt that his head was very heavy. He turned around and leaned against the railing. Since they adopted her, they should raise her well. Just because she gave birth to a child and has no value, she should be treated like this? What's wrong with the girl? That's too selfish. I'm thinking if we should let Xiao Bao go back to her biological mother. When Tang Bao heard Di Haotian's words, he looked up blankly and saw the heartlessness in his dark eyes. What nonsense are you talking about? Di Haotian was frightened when he said such things in front of Xiao Bao's room. He immediately pulled him back into the room. Why did you say that? She's not your biological daughter, and you don't want her? I know that she has no feelings for you. After all, you didn't watch her grow up. But I'm different. Di Haotian, I raised her with my own hands for 3 years. Do you think I don't have feelings for her? If they had been raised with wealth, perhaps it wouldn't have left such a deep impression on me. However, Xiao Bao and Bao were raised by me through hard work. Those 3 years were so lonely to me. Without them, I don't even know if I would have been able to live so strong. Do you understand my difficulties? Tang Bao asked. She was also afraid that Di Haotian would really do that. I understand. But I don't want you to be sad because of her. If this continues, I will really do it. Let's not talk about Xiao Bao. If it was Bao who offended you, I would have sent him out of the country. Tang Bao was speechless. Because Di Haotian would really do it. His possessiveness was too scary. It was as if he only had eyes for her. He could give up on anyone. But Tang Bao couldn't do it. Tang Bao stepped forward and hugged Di Haotian's strong waist. She buried her face in his chest and said, Promise me, don't scare me. I don't want to. I really don't want Xiao Bao to go back to her biological mother. Di Haotian, you have to think about me. Di Haotian's large hand clasped the back of her head and pressed her head deeper into his chest. If it weren't for the fact that he was afraid that Tang Bao would be sad, he would have sent Xiao Bao away long ago. But in the end, he could only promise her, okay. In the morning, Xiao Bao opened her eyes and saw Tang Bao sitting by the bed and looking at her. She was immediately surprised. Mommy! My little lazy worm, you're finally awake. If you didn't wake up, I would have had to wake you up, Tang Bao said lovingly as she pinched her little face. I won't be late, Xiao Bao promised. It's okay. Mommy will be here if you're late. Nothing will happen. Tang Bao stroked her hair that was messy from sleep and said, Mommy will comb your hair. Xiao Bao was very happy, but then she said obediently, Mommy, I can comb my own hair. Why? Can't Mommy comb your hair for you? Tang Bao asked. No, I just want to be a good child. Every parent would be happy to hear such words. It was rare and precious to be a good child. It was so sensible. But Tang Bao only felt bitterness in her heart when she heard this. She didn't want her to be so sensible at all. It's okay. Xiao Bao doesn't need to be a good child. You're still young. Come, Mommy will comb your hair for you. Tang Bao let her sit in front of the mirror and then combed her hair. She combed her hair into a small hairdo. She had a small round face and big eyes. She was very cute. It's so pretty. Do you like it? Tang Bao looked at Xiao Bao in the mirror. I like it. Tang Bao went to negotiate with someone else about the filming location during the day. Just as she was about to leave, she ran into Chen Yao, who came to look for her. Tang Bao really wanted to turn around and run away without caring about her image. Xiao Ding, who was following her, also saw Chen Yao and thought that this was President Tang's home. She couldn't be a third wheel here. President Tang, I'll be leaving first. What? You're not allowed to leave. Tang Bao immediately said. Xiao Ding stood there motionless, shocked by Tang Bao's panicked expression. Before she could come back to her senses, Chen Yao ran over. Tang Go, did you tell my brother that I went to look for you? Yes. Tang Bao didn't deny it. Did you propose marriage to my brother, and then my brother got angry and came to look for me? What the hell? I know. My brother was obviously jealous. Don't think I can't tell. Tang Bao didn't want to talk to Chen Yao anymore. She was obviously a scholar who couldn't reason with a soldier. If she continued talking, she would be the crazy one. He turned around and went to the car, but was stopped by Chen Yao. Tang Go, why are you ignoring me? Why should I talk to you? I'm already married. What's the point of this? Besides, I don't have any feelings for you in that way. Don't you know? Tang Bao refused firmly. You're married? Who's the bride? Chen Yao was stunned. You don't have to know who it is. I'm already married anyway. Impossible. Tang Go, don't lie to me. I know you're not married. Why? My brother said so. Your brother? Yes, I asked him before. I asked him if you were married, and he said no. Tang Bao gritted his teeth. He wanted to bite Meng Shi to death. Did this person have a bad memory? He already knew that she was married, and the bride was Di Haotian. I don't want to talk to you about this. I'm telling you again, I won't sign you under my studio, and I won't like a woman like you. If you don't understand, go back and think about it. Don't appear in front of me again. After that, he pushed Chen Yao away and got into the car. Xiao Ding, who was in the car, looked at Tang Bao and asked carefully, Tang Go, that woman, isn't she your wife? Wife? Come and see. Hongcha 866. Chapter 1140. It's your marriage partner, commonly known as your wife. Aren't you overthinking it? How does she look like my wife? There's no such thing. I only know now that there's no such thing, but everyone in the studio thinks she's your wife. Tang Bao frowned. So you put her in my office every time? Xiao Ding nodded. Tang Bao sighed. It turned out that she had been tricked by the people around her. Especially that idiot Meng Shi. Tang Bao was so angry that she called Meng Shi directly. Tang Go, whenever I see you call me, I feel so energized. Let me ask you, why did you tell your sister that I'm not married? That wretched girl went to look for you again? Meng Shi was furious. Answer my question first. I did say that. Don't you know that I'm married? Why did you say that I'm not married? I don't need you to mislead me. Can't you tell the truth? Tang Bao questioned. At that time, I didn't know that she was pestering you. Moreover, you're not married to begin with. Who told you that I'm not married? I'm already married to Di Haotian. It's not like you don't know that. Tang Bao roared angrily. He really knew how to cause trouble for her. After Tang Bao roared, she remembered that there was someone else in the car. She couldn't help but look up and saw Xiao Ding's stunned and frightened expression. There were only a few words in her mind. Married? With the young master? Who's married to President Tang? Who's married to the young master? Tang Bao was sweating. She was scared out of her wits. Meng Shi had no idea what was going on here and continued, You're not married. She sounded very sure. What do you mean? Do you still remember the last time I asked you for your marriage certificate and you couldn't take it out? If you're married, what's wrong with showing me the marriage certificate? There's only one explanation, and that's that you're not married at all. Meng Shi analyzed reasonably. Tang Bao was actually speechless by his analysis. However, it wasn't that she couldn't take out the marriage certificate. Instead, the marriage certificate that she took out showed her marriage photo with Di Haotian in women's clothing. If she showed it to Meng Shi, wouldn't that be telling him that she was a girl? You can't say it, right? Meng Shi asked. I'm married. I'm not lying to you, Tang Bao said passively. Show me the evidence. Whether you believe it or not, I'm really married. I don't believe you. Believe it or not, it's up to you. Now, deal with your sister with me. If I could deal with her, I wouldn't be so arrogant. Let me tell you, she's a weirdo. She could tell that Tang Bao was depressed. What a difficult woman. She was full of strange things. Then what do you think we should do now? Tang Bao asked. Leave it to me. I'm willing to do anything for you. Moi. Meng Shi hung up after saying that. Tang Bao watched as the phone screen turned black. He was so tired that he was crispy on the outside and tender on the inside. Kisses? He was really hopeless. She was being pestered by this pair of siblings, wasn't she? Even if they wanted her life, this was not how they wanted it. Tang Bao put down his phone and looked at Xiao Ding, who seemed to be still in shock. Since he had already heard it, there was no need to deny it. Could it be that he would explain that he did not deliberately hide it in the future? Don't mention this to the people in the studio, Tang Bao cleared his throat and said. President Tang, are you really married to young Master Di? Tang Bao nodded. We've been married for a few years. Xiao Ding was even more frightened. A few years? Tang Bao cleared his throat again. I didn't tell you because I didn't want to complicate things. Did you get your marriage certificate overseas? Xiao Ding asked. Yes, overseas. Tang Bao nodded. Xiao Ding was shocked and happy. This is a good thing. If those fujoshis in the studio find out, they will definitely be happy for President Tang. Fujoshis? Don't say it. Don't worry, President Tang. If you don't let me say it, I definitely won't say it. That's good. Tang Bao's car drove to the entrance of the studio. Tang Bao got out of the car and entered the studio. Far away, Mia sat in the car and watched Tang Bao enter the studio. The hatred in her eyes could not be hidden. How should she scheme against Tango? She could not tolerate him at all. At this moment, her phone rang. Seeing that it was Lan Wanru, she picked it up. Miss Lan. How's it going? I don't know why, but young Master D doesn't have any feelings for me at all. Didn't you tell me at the beginning that you and young Master D are developing well? Lan Wanru's unhappy voice came through. Actually, the person who has been in contact with me is not young Master D, but Tango. I didn't know it was Tengu until the matter was exposed. I hate him to death now. Mia gritted her teeth. What's the use of hating him? I told you from the beginning not to underestimate Tengu. Otherwise, why would you need to go for plastic surgery? I can do it myself. 2 days ago, I ran into an interesting matter at a cake shop. What was it? It was a mother and daughter who went to buy a cake. The girl was adopted and was cursed by her mother on the spot. Coincidentally, not only was I there, but young Master D's child was also there. My little sister naturally saw that scene and seemed very sad. It was indeed very interesting. I was thinking if, don't tell me. Don't let me know what you do. I'm only interested in the result. Lan Wanru stopped her. Although Mia was uncomfortable with Lan Wanru's attitude, she still did not say anything. She could feel that Lan Wanru wanted to stay out of what she did. However, Mia said to Lan Wanru that it did not mean that she would give her a share of the cake. If she succeeded, she would not give Di Haotian to Lan Wanru. Don't look down on a country bumpkin in front of her. She was a country bumpkin in the past, but it did not mean that she would be one in the future. The next day, Tang Bao settled his work at work and then arranged to have a meal with someone. She had been very busy recently. As it was close to the start of filming, she did not have dinner with Di Haotian yesterday. To be honest, every time it was as if she was asking for leave from Di Haotian. She was very nervous, afraid that Di Haotian would not approve. Tang Bao called. Di Haotian looked at the phone on the table. The caller ID showed on it. To be honest, he did not want to answer it at all, because only by not answering it would he not hear Tang Bao say that she was going out and could not have lunch with him. But in the end, he still answered. Are you busy? No. Then why did you take so long to answer my call? Tang Bao was puzzled. Nothing. Oh, okay. I have an appointment with someone, so I can't have lunch with you. You eat by yourself. I'll try to come back earlier. After Tang Bao finished speaking, he did not hear Di Haotian's voice, but he could still feel Di Haotian's gloomy coldness. So he immediately said, When I'm done with my work, I'll sleep with you every day, okay? You have to sleep with me every day. Okay. Tang Bao smiled stiffly and agreed. Awesome novel. Hongcha 866. Chapter 1141. After hanging up, she thought sadly that it was impossible to take advantage of Di Haotian. She had to give something in return. Tang Bao had lunch with the investors and the director. After he left, he thought of something and asked the driver to go to the children's school. He wanted to see them. She was worried about Xiao Bao's situation in school. Would she be in low spirits as well? Tang Bao entered the school and went to the kindergarten. From afar, he saw Xiao Bao sitting there crying while Bao and the teacher were comforting her. Di Bowling's face was cold. Tang Bao quickly walked over. What's wrong? The teacher recognized Tang Bao and immediately stood up. She said helplessly, Hello, I don't know what's wrong with Di Yunxi. Mommy. Bao stood up and looked at Tang Bao for help. Tang Bao patted his and Di Bowling's heads. Then, he squatted down in front of Xiao Bao and wiped her tears. Xiao Bao, what's wrong? Tell Mommy, what's wrong? Xiao Bao looked up at Tang Bao with tears in her eyes. Mommy, Tang Bao hugged her. It's okay. Mommy's here. Don't be afraid. Xiao Bao hugged Tang Bao's neck, and only calmed down after a long while. Her eyes were red from crying. Tang Bao hugged her and sat by the flower bed. Beside him were Bao and Di Bowling. The teacher did not dare to leave. Everyone in the school knew that the children of the Di family were extremely respected. If anything happened, they would not be exempted from responsibility. Therefore, they were under a lot of pressure. Mommy, did you come here to see me? Xiao Bao asked. Yes, I came to see you. Mommy missed you, so I came to see you. Are you happy? Xiao Bao nodded. Xiao Bao is happy that Mommy came to see Xiao Bao. Then can you tell Mommy why you're crying? Xiao Mei said that she was picked up by her mommy. Tang Bao sighed helplessly in her heart. She knew that her words would hurt Xiao Bao. However, everyone else had said it unintentionally. Xiao Bao was just too terrified. In the past, Xiao Bao would also say that it was fine as long as she was not picked up from the trash. But now, she could not bear to hear such words. How could it be picked up? Her mommy must be joking. Tang Bao comforted her and then diverted her attention. What did you eat for lunch? Is it good? Xiao Bao nodded. It's delicious. Shall mommy take you out to buy a cake? Xiao Bao looked up. Mommy, do you want some? Sure, let's eat together, Tang Bao said to the teacher. Teacher, I'm sorry, but I want to take half a day off for her. Okay, no problem. Tang Bao looked at Bao and Di Bowling. The two of you stay in school. I'll take Xiao Bao out for a walk. Later, the driver will bring you home. After Tang Bao took Xiao Bao out of school, she took her to buy delicious food. Tang Bao ate with her. She ate desserts, fruit juices, and sweet and sour things. She ate whatever Xiao Bao ate. After eating for a while, Xiao Bao's mood improved. When we're done eating, Mommy will take you to buy beautiful clothes and a cute panda toy. Okay? Okay. In the past, Tang Bao did not want her to eat too many desserts. She was afraid that her teeth would hurt when she changed them. But now, she could not care less. She could eat whatever she wanted. She would not stop her. As long as she was happy. After eating, she took Xiao Bao to the mall. Her chauffeur followed behind her. Every floor was different. He bought her new clothes. They were all chosen by Xiao Bao herself. She even chose a teddy bear that she liked. She hugged it happily. Wow, it fell off again. The two of them, one adult and one child, were in front of the claw machine. Tang Bao tried 3 times and failed. When the claw machine was clamped, Xiao Bao's eyes were bright. Her mouth was open and she looked very nervous. She was extremely cute. However, when the claw machine fell off, she was even more surprised. A girl passing by could not help but take a picture of her. Wow, what a cute girl. I want to give birth in the future too. Forget it. I'm afraid you won't be able to. Tang Bao only smiled when she heard that. She continued to focus on clamping the claw machine. Do you want me to help? The passerby asked kindly. Okay. Tang Bao smiled and let her help. She thought that the passerby could not stand it. That was why she made such a request. But clamping the claw machine was really difficult. But when she saw the passerby clamping the claw machine, she did not fall off even when the machine shook. The claw machine clamped the claw machine and the claw machine fell out. Wow, that's amazing! Xiao Bao could not help but exclaim and clap her little hands. Tang Bao touched her nose awkwardly. There were really experts among the people. She had tried many times but to no avail. This passerby actually succeeded on the first try. The passerby offered the claw machine to Xiao Bao, but Xiao Bao shook her head. She did not want it. Why not? You don't like this? The passerby asked. Xiao Bao did not say a word. She leaned against Tang Bao and lowered her eyes. Tang Bao seemed to understand Xiao Bao's rejection. He said to the passerby, "Can you teach me how to clamp it?" "Sure." Then, under the guidance of the passerby, Tang Bao finally clamped a snow-white furry rabbit. He passed it to Xiao Bao. Xiao Bao immediately hugged it happily. "Mommy, I want to hug it to sleep tonight." Tang Bao smiled. "As long as you're happy." The passerby next to them found it strange. Why was she calling a man mommy? Tang Bao thanked the passerby and left with Xiao Bao. They walked from the 1st floor to the 4th floor, and then walked down from the 4th floor. They had already experienced everything that they wanted to do and everything that they wanted to eat. Xiao Bao's unhappy mood had already been swept away. When they were leaving, there were people selling balloons at the entrance of the mall. They were shouting, "Do you want a balloon? Do you want a balloon? Buy one." Tang Bao noticed Xiao Bao's gaze and pulled her little hand forward. "Choose one." "I want that one." She chose a pink one. Tang Bao bought the pink balloon and let Xiao Bao hold the string. Tang Bao stood at the edge of the plaza and waited for the driver to drive over. At this moment, Tang Bao's cell phone rang. She took it out and saw that it was Di Haotian. She answered. Hello? It's not over yet. I went to school and brought Xiao Bao out to play for a while. Why didn't you call me? I took a detour when I was preparing to go back. Besides, I didn't expect to bring Xiao Bao out. When are you coming back? I'm waiting for the driver to drive over. The car is parked in the parking lot. As Tang Bao was speaking, she felt her hand loosen. She turned around and saw Xiao Bao chasing the balloon in the direction of the highway. Tang Bao was shocked. Xiao Bao, come back. What's the matter? Di Haotian's heart was in his throat. Tang Bao could not care less about Di Haotian. She held her cell phone and chased after Xiao Bao. Just as she got down from the plaza, Tang Bao saw a car speeding over. Xiao Bao stood in the middle of the road and was shocked when she saw the car coming. Tang Bao rushed forward and pushed Xiao Bao away. The car crashed directly into Tang Bao. Ah! Di Haotian stood up abruptly when he heard the sound from the cell phone. He shouted anxiously, Bao, Songshu 566. Chapter 1142. No one responded to him. Bao, can you hear me? Di Haotian quickly hung up the phone and called the driver. His hands were trembling and his eyes were bloodshot. Every second after he dialed the number was like 1,000 cuts to him. As soon as the call was connected, Di Haotian immediately shouted, Where's Tang Bao? Young master, young madam was hit by a car. The driver was scared out of his wit. If anything happens to her, I want you to die with her. Di Haotian was furious. After hanging up the phone, Di Haotian ran out of control. He didn't ask what happened, but he could guess who Di Haotian was related to. But he didn't dare to guess what happened to Tang Bao. Di Haotian rushed into the hospital with a murderous aura. Tang Bao, who was bandaging her arm, looked up and saw the terrifying Di Haotian staring at her as if he wanted to penetrate her. Are you okay? Di Haotian asked, trying to calm himself down. It's just a scratch. Do you want me to be okay? Tang Bao asked unhappily. Di Haotian's tense nerves relaxed, but he felt a pain in his heart. It was as if he had suffered a heavy blow. His face was pale. Di Haotian, are you okay? Tang Bao felt that Di Haotian's condition was worse than hers. Di Haotian walked forward and asked the doctor, She only has a scratch? Yes, only a scratch on her arm. Her bones and tendons are not injured. The doctor was an authority in orthopedics and also the principal, but he still felt terrified in front of the king of D City. When Tang Bao entered the hospital, the doctor had already taken care of everything. Of course, he didn't dare to delay the treatment. After confirming that Tang Bao was fine, Di Haotian's expression returned to normal. It was especially scary. What happened to you? I was just accidentally hit by a car, but the car braked suddenly. I'm fine. Why did I hear you call Xiao Bao's name on the phone? Tang Bao wondered if Di Haotian would send Xiao Bao away if she told him the truth. She didn't want to tell the truth. Di Haotian would not let go of any change in her expression. Before he knew that she was going to lie, he said coldly, I want to hear the truth. It's just that. I bought a balloon for Xiao Bao, but I didn't hold the string properly, so it flew away. I was on the phone and didn't notice Xiao Bao. She went to chase the balloons alone and ran into the road. Di Haotian tilted his head slightly and looked sharply at the door. Where's the culprit? There's no need to ask. I let her go. She's Mia. Di Haotian looked at Tang Bao fiercely with his black eyes. She said she didn't do it on purpose, and she braked suddenly. I let her go after I checked at the hospital and found that she was fine. She didn't plan it? Di Haotian asked coldly. If she planned it, why didn't she kill me? At that speed, if she didn't step on the brakes, I might have been unconscious now. Tang Bao felt it the most at that time. She also felt that Mia didn't want to kill her. Then why was she there? What a coincidence. Di Haotian's eyes were deep and sharp. Maybe it was a coincidence. That's a mall where everyone can go. If you want to say that she planned it, what kind of plan could it be? Just to injure me as revenge? I think this reason is a little far-fetched, Tang Bao said. Di Haotian's gaze fell on the graze on Tang Bao's arm. Although it was only a superficial wound, if a strand of Tang Bao's hair was hurt, he would be affected, let alone an injury to his arm. You let her go because you're afraid that I'll take revenge on her. Di Haotian glanced at her. Tang Bao touched her nose with her other uninjured hand and muttered, "Since you already know, don't ask any more. I can let her go, but she has to get out of D City with me. She's not allowed to step into D City ever again." Di Haotian turned around and ordered, "Anyone related to that family is not allowed to step into D City." Tang Bao couldn't stop Di Haotian. This was already Di Haotian's most merciful method. She felt that if the Chen family members came to D City one by one, they would sooner or later become victims of Di Haotian's violence, and she couldn't stop him. "Where's Xiao Bao?" Di Haotian asked. "I was afraid that she would see the wound on my arm, so I asked her to go next door. Help me take a look at her and bring her here. I'll bandage it so that the wound won't be seen. Also, don't blame her. She's just a child and doesn't know anything. She was scared out of her wits at that time," Tang Bao said anxiously. Di Haotian replied coldly, "Got it." Then he turned around and left. Xiao Bao sat in the ward next door with the chauffeur looking after her. Xiao Bao kept her head down and hugged the white rabbit that Tang Bao had given her tightly. "Xiao Bao." Xiao Bao looked up with tears on her face. "Daddy, Mommy is bleeding." Di Haotian squatted down and wiped away her tears. "Don't cry. Mommy's fine." "Is it okay?" "Yes. Mommy doesn't want to see you cry like this. She'll be sad and feel that she didn't take good care of you. Do you understand?" Xiao Bao didn't fully understand, but she still listened and stopped crying. Xiao Bao walked into the ward where Tang Bao was. Tang Bao's hand was already bandaged and the wound was indeed invisible. Xiao Bao walked forward, tears welling up in his eyes, but he forced himself not to let them fall. "I'm fine. I'll be able to leave soon," Tang Bao comforted her. "Mommy must be in a lot of pain." "No, it doesn't hurt anymore. Look, I can still move my hand." Tang Bao raised his hand and moved it up and down as if he was lifting a dumbbell. When he did it for the second time, he met Di Haotian's cold gaze. She was so scared that her hand froze and she put it down. "Isn't that right? Mommy's fine now." "Yes, as long as Mommy's fine." Xiao Bao pouted. After returning to the castle, Xiao Bao was silent the whole way. It was quiet. Erbao and Di Bowling thought that it was useless to go out and play. At night, when Tang Bao took off her clothes in the bathroom, the bandage on her arm was exposed. She needed to treat it when she was showering to prevent water from seeping in. Di Haotian must have gone out just now to get something for her. The bathroom door opened and Di Haotian walked in with the sensitive item in his hand. Tang Bao's face turned red. "My arm is injured and you brought this for me? Are you surprised?" Di Haotian looked at her deeply. It's not convenient for me now. I won't use your hand when I'm doing that kind of thing." Tang Bao's head was about to explode. Could this person be any more shameless? Di Haotian saw her red face and explained kindly, "This is more effective than plastic wrap. It won't seep in like a normal shower." "It's that amazing?" Tang Bao was very surprised. She didn't know that this item had such a miraculous effect. Attention, Xinwu 799. Chapter 1143. However, it was normal that she didn't know. Who would use this? It was just that she didn't know how to use it. She watched as Di Haotian tore off the packaging. He took out the item inside. Looking at the item that was exposed right before her eyes, Tang Bao's face couldn't help but turn red all the way down to her neck. This item was traumatizing for her. The moment it saw her, it meant that she was going to suffer the pain of being ravaged. Could it be that Di Haotian deliberately said that it was going to be used as a plastic wrap? Was he actually trying to take advantage of her when she was unprepared? That couldn't be right. If Di Haotian was really strong, why would she need to be on guard against him? It was useless no matter how hard she tried. Moreover, Di Haotian was a pervert. The more she struggled, the more excited he became. After Di Haotian took the item out, he used a pair of scissors to cut off both ends. This way, it looked like a sleeve. Then, Di Haotian grabbed her hand and put the item on her arm. Then, Tang Bao realized that the sleeve was not tight. Tang Bao thought of something and her face was so red that it was about to burn. Could she be blamed for this? Naturally, she made a comparison in her mind and realized that Di Haotian's forearm was similar to her forearm. Why are you blushing? It's not like you don't know. I'm not blushing. Tang Bao almost flew into a rage out of humiliation. However, when she saw herself in the mirror, her face was burning red. She wanted to find a hole to hide in. Di Haotian looked at her cute appearance. His dark eyes rippled dangerously as he asked, "Does this hurt?" "It doesn't hurt. I'll help you take off your clothes." "Ah, no, I'll take it off myself." "No." Di Haotian was firm. "But my hand is only bruised. It's not broken. It doesn't matter if I take off my clothes." "Don't use this hand if you can." Di Haotian was still firm. As he spoke, he had already taken off her clothes. He pulled the white shirt off with his other hand. Tang Bao could not resist, so he simply stopped moving. However, her body was very stiff. She stood there and was served by Di Haotian domineeringly. He stripped her naked. The heat on Tang Bao's face never subsided. In the past, she could still struggle, but now, she couldn't even struggle. After they stood under the shower, Tang Bao used one hand to bathe herself. Di Haotian, who was standing behind her, was also bathing her. Her face was flushed, and every part of her skin was a beautiful pink. "Turn around," Di Haotian instructed her. Tang Bao quickly said, "I'll wash the front myself. I can't wash it clean with one hand." Tang Bao did not speak or move, but her body was forcefully turned around by Di Haotian, not giving her any chance to escape or resist. Tang Bao's gaze accidentally fell on a certain spot. She was so frightened that she quickly turned her face to the side. "Tell me, you're simply seducing your husband like this." "I'm not." "Why not?" Di Haotian's deep voice was so magnetic in her ears. "The redness of your skin, your figure, and your expression can all light up my fire." Tang Bao felt that the magnetic voice had drilled into her ears and even into her body. It was dense and everywhere, making her heart beat faster. She was about to faint from lack of oxygen. If you want to help me bathe, hurry up, or I'm going out." Di Haotian chuckled charmingly and sexily. He nibbled on her little mouth and whispered, "Why, you can't take it any more?" "I'm not," Tang Bao denied. She suppressed her erratic breathing and the heat in her body. Di Haotian saw how beautiful she looked when she was enduring. He really wanted to swallow her. However, her arm was not good. Even if he swallowed her, she had to go back to the bedroom. After bathing and putting on her pajamas, Tang Bao quickly left the bathroom and went into the bedroom. Fortunately, Di Haotian did not do anything to her. Otherwise, she would not have come out of the bathroom so quickly. In fact, she would have come out in a horizontal position in the end. Her hand was grabbed and landed in that broad and thick hand. Di Haotian slowly took off the bandage on her arm. Tang Bao realized that Di Haotian was right. Not a single drop of water had seeped into her arm. As long as she did not think too much, this was much more useful and convenient than plastic wrap. If it was plastic wrap, no matter how tightly it was wrapped, some water would still seep in. Tang Bao looked at her gauze and asked, "Do you think it will leave a scar?" "It's fine if it's on my body, but it won't look good on my arm. I still want to wear women's clothes in the future." "It won't. Even if there's a scar, I'll still like it." Di Haotian hugged her. His strong physique made it impossible for her to escape. He dominated her breath. Do you know that you scared me so much that my heart almost stopped? Tang Bao met those deep and dark eyes. Her heartbeat and breathing became unstable. Therefore, when he was in the hospital, he appeared so flustered and his face was pale. That was because she had scared him. I'm sorry. I didn't know it would be like that. Fortunately, it's only a superficial wound. A superficial wound is fine? Di Haotian's eyes darkened. Tang Bao was afraid of his scary expression. She swallowed and said, Don't do it again. Di Haotian really did not know what to do with her. He could not bear to be rough with her, but if he did not, the fear in his heart would consume him. Tang Bao could not understand how he felt when he heard the crash on the phone. At that moment, his heart seemed to have stopped. If something happened to Tang Bao again, he did not know if he would go crazy. Di Haotian, why aren't you saying anything? MMPH. Tang Bao was wondering if Di Haotian had been provoked and had not recovered from his shock, but her little mouth was suddenly covered. Tang Bao's face immediately flushed red. Her breathing became unstable as she endured Di Haotian's wolfing down. She felt that she should not have resisted Di Haotian, even if she knew that her hand was injured. But she knew that Di Haotian would not hurt her. After they were on the bed, Tang Bao was peeled open like a tender bamboo shoot under Di Haotian's dangerous gaze. His gaze was so hot that every inch of her skin felt like it was burning. In the end, Di Haotian really did not touch her hand. He held her in place and treated her like a wild beast. In the morning, Tang Bao did not wake up on time. After being tormented for a long time last night, she naturally slept until late in the morning. In a daze, Tang Bao felt someone kiss her lip. She pursed her red lips as if itching and went back to sleep. Di Haotian went downstairs. The children were already awake. Xiao Bao immediately ran over. Daddy, how's Mommy? Does her arm still hurt? Di Haotian looked at her teary eyes and asked, Are you crying? Daddy, will Mommy's arm be like the arm of the auntie at the dessert shop that day? Xiao Bao asked worriedly. Auntie. He Ju walked up and explained, it should be the mother and daughter at the dessert shop that day. Songshu 566. Chapter 1144. Di Haotian's eyes narrowed as he furrowed his brows. His gaze suddenly became vicious and cold. He Ju felt the change in Di Haotian's aura and seemed to have an idea in his heart. If the dessert shop incident was a coincidence, then could Tang Bao's injury also be a coincidence? Young master, do you want to investigate? No need. Just deal with her directly. He Ju was slightly stunned and nodded after he understood. Yes. With his mindset, there was no need to investigate at all. It would be a waste of time. In the morning, Mia was still sleeping when a few men in black suddenly barged into the house, scaring her awake from her sleep. She looked at the few ill-intentioned people beside the bed in fear. Who are you? Why did you barge into my house? Do you believe that I won't call the police? Zhang Chao looked at her expressionlessly. Miss Chen, I think D-City can no longer tolerate people like you. Please leave. You're the young master's men? Mia looked at Zhang Chao, who looked slightly familiar, and remembered. It's good that you know. Don't struggle needlessly. Come with us obediently and leave D-City. No, I don't want to. I want to see the young master. The young master likes me. He even sent me a message. I want to see the young master. Mia struggled to run out of the house. The bodyguards didn't stop her. They followed her downstairs and directly stuffed her into the car. Let go. Why are you doing this to me? I know. It's Tang Ji's idea, right? It must be him. He was the one who sent the message the last time. He must be the one who asked you to come this time. I'm going to kill him. Zhang Chao directly slapped Mia, causing her to vomit blood. Her hair was disheveled and she looked very pathetic. If that's the case, it's enough for you to die 100 times. Zhang Chao said fiercely. Mia cried and complained, I want to tell the young master. I must tell the young master. It's you who acted on your own initiative to deal with me. If the young master finds out, he won't let any of you off. Miss Chen, you're too confident in yourself. If Mr. Tang wasn't injured, you might not have ended up in this situation. The young master's order was that whoever hurt Mr. Tang had to die. Do you understand? Zhang Chao sneered. You want to kill me? Mia's face turned pale. She was scared out of her wits and shook her head. No, you can't kill me. I want to see the young emperor. I want to see the young master. Who would let her see Di Haotian? If he did, he would just die a little faster. Di Haotian's intention was clear. Mia can't stay. Now, it wasn't just banishment from the imperial city. Instead, he wanted her to die outside the imperial city. However, Mia still wanted to see Di Haotian before she died. She felt that her face was what Di Haotian liked. Di Haotian would never do anything to this face. It could only be said that Mia didn't understand the king of Imperial City. If he had been merciful because of a similar face, would Xiao Rui have ended up in such a miserable state? It wasn't your fault to have a similar face, but to hurt Tang Bao, you should be burned to ashes. Not only Mia, but even Chen Zizhao was also banished from Imperial City. A powerless commoner like him had no ability to struggle and could only leave obediently. According to Di Haotian's temper, it would be best for the Chen family to disappear forever. At night, Lan Wan recalled Mia. After a few rings, the call was picked up. What are you doing now? Are you going to do something to Tang Go? Although Lan Wanru didn't want to know Mia's plan, he still asked. After all, Lan Wanru was unreliable. Did you succeed? I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint Miss Lan. The man's voice stunned Lan Wanru. Why does this voice sound so familiar? Lan Wanru trembled. He Jew? I was just wondering whose idea it was to have Mia undergo plastic surgery to look like young madam. So it was you. It wasn't me. I didn't know. It was Mia who came to me herself, Lan Wanru denied. He Jew didn't say anything else and hung up. He walked to Di Haotian's bedroom and knocked on the door. Di Haotian walked out. He Jew said, the person who called was Lan Wanru. Di Haotian's black eyes flashed with a malicious light. At this moment, Di Haotian's phone vibrated. Di Haotian took it out and answered without looking at the missed call. Lan Wanru's anxious voice came from the phone. Brother Haotian, it's me. I want to explain to you. I did ask Mia to undergo plastic surgery, but I didn't ask her to hurt Tang Go. I only wanted her to seduce you and drive a wedge between you and Tang Go. I'm doing this for your own good. Tang Go is a man. You can't be with him. Brother Haotian, do you blame me? I thought that by driving a wedge between you and Tang Go, I could return to your side and replace him. Brother Haotian, I've loved you for so many years. Why do you have to be with a man in the end? Di Haotian hung up. His expression was cold and frightening. Lan Wanru wanted to say something, but the call was cut off. When he called again, the number was no longer in service. Lan Wanru's face was pale. He stood there unsteadily. What did he mean? Was Di Haotian coming to deal with her? She didn't mean to hurt Tang Go. She just wanted to drive a wedge between them. That was how it was. What's wrong? Di Junbai, who was socializing outside, came back at this moment. Lan Wanru came back to his senses in shock. When he saw Di Junbai, he immediately went forward and begged, Brother, help me. Brother Haotian, he might not let me go. What happened? You know Mia, right? I was the one who ordered her to undergo plastic surgery to look like Tang Bao. I only wanted her to drive a wedge between Brother Haotian and Tang Bao. But I didn't say I was going to hurt Tang Go. I really didn't mean it. But now that Brother Haotian knows, he won't let me go, Lan Wanru said anxiously. You know? Yes, I know. I didn't expect Mia to be such a useless person. She's simply a piece of trash. Lan Wanru even blamed someone else. If he finds out, it might not end well for you. I know. That's why I came to beg you. Brother, help me. I didn't do anything wrong. Tell me, who's more hateful, the tiger or the person who set the tiger free? Di Junbai asked back. Lan Wanru was stunned. He despaired and broke down. Yes, she was indeed the one who set the tiger free. Because she was vicious in the first place. But who did she do all this for? She did it for Di Haotian. She loved him. I can't accept this. I can't accept this. Why can't I even win against a dead person? Why can't Brother Haotian love me? Why does he treat me so heartlessly when Tang Bao is already dead? Could it be that to him, I'm just a dispensable person? Doesn't he know how much I love him? Hongcha 866. Chapter 1145. You shouldn't have hurt Tengu. He wouldn't have cared about anything else. Di Junbai was telling the truth. But the truth made Lan Wanru's heart ache. She didn't want to do anything. She just wanted Tengu to disappear. Perhaps you can beg Auntie and ask her to think of a way. Di Junbai suddenly gave her an idea. Auntie. Lan Wanru was stunned. But Auntie isn't in good spirits now. Can she do it? They all knew that ever since Liu Huai found out that the grandson wasn't hers, her spirits had been crushed. You can give it a try. Lan Wanru hesitated. Di Junbai said, or do you want to die? I don't want to die. I don't want to die. Lan Wanru couldn't die. I'll go find Auntie now. With that, she ran to Liu Huai's room. Di Junbai looked at the figure that was running away. A terrifying light flashed across his eyes without a sound. Lan Wanru didn't have time to knock on the door. She pushed the door open. The lights inside were still on, which meant that Liu Huai wasn't asleep yet. But she didn't react to Lan Wanru. She sat on the bed, still holding the photo of Di Bowling. Her face was lifeless, as if she had been dealt a heavy blow. From the beginning to the current despair, it was all because of the child she had truly loved. But in the end, he had become the grandson of the person she hated the most. She wanted to make a scene and deal with Di Haotian's family, but she didn't know where to start. She didn't have the power of the king of Di City, so she couldn't do anything. In the end, she could only be so disheartened. Auntie? Lan Wanru went forward and grabbed Liu Huai's hand. Liu Huai turned around and looked at her with lifeless eyes. Why aren't you sleeping? Auntie, you have to take care of yourself. Don't go on like this. Let's get Bowling back, okay? Get him back? How could they snatch it? Even if I snatch him back, he's not my grandson. Liu Huai's eyes were filled with tears. How could it be the same? It was different. Then let me give birth to another one, Lan Wanru suggested. Do you think I didn't mention it? He didn't want to. He's actually unwilling. He still hasn't forgotten that woman. Lan Wanru didn't need to think to know who the woman Liu Huai was talking about was. Because in her heart, Tang Bao was just as detestable. Lan Wanru was in tears. I don't know why the Tang Bao is still haunting us even though he's already dead. I just want to be with Brother Haotian after she dies. Why can't I? Even if she died, couldn't she let Brother Haotian go? Now, because I asked a woman to undergo plastic surgery to look like Tang Bao to seduce Brother Haotian and was found out, they want to kill me. Auntie, what do you think I should do? When Liu Huai heard Lan Wanru's words, her expression became slightly more spirited. What did you say? Di Haotian wants to kill you? Lan Wanru nodded. Her tears kept falling. Yes, because of that Tengu, he can't even tolerate me now. Auntie, I don't want to die. Can you help me? Although she didn't know what ability Liu Huai had to help her, since Di Junbai said so, there should be a turn for the better. Liu Huai's eyes were filled with hatred. Their family is simply too much of a bully. Don't tell me they want to kill everyone in my family? Lan Wanru lay on Lan Wanru's body and cried. Auntie, you must help me. At this moment there was a knock on the door. A servant walked in with a panicked expression. Madam, the young master is here. What? Lan Wanru's expression was extremely frightened. She grabbed Li Yuhuai's hand tightly. Auntie, I don't want to go. I don't want to die. Li Yuhuai hurriedly comforted her. It's okay. You won't die. No one will die. She got off the bed as she spoke. Lan Wanru didn't want to go out, but this kind of thing was no longer up to her. He walked into the room, glanced at Li Yuhuai, and turned to Lan Wanru. Miss Lan, the young master is downstairs. He wants to see you. I'm not going. Lan Wanru refused. Why not? The young master has come personally. Are you unhappy? He asked. Li Yuhuai stood in front of Lan Wanru. Di Haotian, don't go too far. You will suffer retribution. Retribution? Second madam, you're right. There will be retribution for doing bad things. For example, your family. He said coldly. You. He couldn't be bothered to talk nonsense. He ordered the servants, take her down. Lan Wanru was taken downstairs. Li Yuhuai naturally protected Lan Wanru. She couldn't stop him and could only follow him downstairs. Di Haotian sat on the sofa, holding a cup of tea that the servant had poured for him. The heat from the tea couldn't hide the coldness from his body. The atmosphere of the entire villa changed. It was so cold and terrifying, as if they had entered hell. Di Haotian, let me tell you. Don't go too far. Do you have to kill everyone in my family? Don't forget, you even stole my grandson. Li Yuhuai trembled as she questioned. Di Haotian's black eyes were calm. His voice was low and cold. Grandson? Recently, I heard that second aunt's mind is becoming more and more unclear. She's always speaking incoherently and nonsense. Looks like it's true. I didn't. Bowling is my grandson. You stole him. Di Lingyue is my husband. You killed him. Now you want to kill Wanru. How can you be so ruthless? Li Yuhuai was afraid, but she could only go against Di Haotian. Otherwise, this family would really be destroyed. Di Haotian's black eyes lifted slightly. His gaze landed on Lan Wanru. That bone-chilling coldness made Lan Wanru take a step back in fear. Ruthless? Second aunt, I'm afraid you have some misunderstanding about me. If you didn't push me too far, I would still be merciful to your family. As for killing her, when did I say that? Li Yu and Lan Wanru were both stunned. Especially Lan Wanru. You're not here to kill me? What is Di Lingyue most afraid of? He's afraid that he won't be able to fight against me after he dies. What are you most afraid of? Di Haotian asked. His voice didn't contain any emotions. Lan Wanru's face turned slightly pale. With a body like yours, it's only a matter of time before you die. Why should I do this? However, I'll find a place where you can live out your life peacefully. Di Haotian said heartlessly. While where? Lan Wanru asked. Prison. What? Lan Wanru's face was ashen. There wasn't a trace of blood in it. His whole body was on the verge of collapsing. Tears fell from his eyes. He was extremely afraid. He went to Di Haotian and went forward to kneel in front of Di Haotian. No, Brother Haotian. Don't do this to me. I'm doing all this because I love you. What's Tang Bao? What's Tang Go? I've been by your side for so many years. Who can compare to my love? Why can't you look at me a little more? Otherwise, how could I become like this? Xinwu 799. Chapter 1146. Di Haotian was indifferent to her confession. Lan Wanru cried. Besides, I'm innocent in this incident. I only asked Mia to do plastic surgery to seduce you. I didn't do anything else. Why can't you believe me? I didn't know Mia would drive a car to hit Tango. Brother Haotian, Did Tang Gu say something to you? It must be like that. He must have said something to you. It must be like that. He doesn't like me and wants to use you to deal with me. Brother Haotian, don't fall for his trick. Di Haotian pushed Lan Wanru away. Ah! Lan Wanru fell to the ground. Wanru! Liu Huai went forward to help her up. Di Haotian looked at Lan Wanru coldly. I'll tell you this. Even if you want to use me, I'll gladly do it. Lan Wanru's body was weak from the blow. Her breathing was heavy, but what made her feel even more desperate was Di Haotian's disgusting behavior and his words. Lan Wanru suddenly laughed like a maniac. Ha 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 ha. Even if you want to use me, I'll gladly do it. Ha 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 ha. Brother Haotian, you've really disappointed me. Saying such things to you because of a man, aren't you afraid that Tang Bao will crawl out of his grave and question you? You don't have to worry about that. Brother Haotian, open your eyes and take a good look. You're the king of D City, the most honorable man in the world. Don't be bewitched by Tang Go. Lan Wanru shouted loudly, as if trying to wake Di Haotian up. I like being bewitched by her. I'd rather never wake up. Di Haotian put down the untouched teacup, stood up, and said, Take her away. The bodyguards went forward to pull Lan Wanru away. Lan Wanru struggled. No, no. I don't want to go to prison. Di Haotian, you killed me. You killed me. Liu Huai hugged Lan Wanru and refused to let go. Let go of me. Let her go. Auntie, save me. Auntie. Lan Wanru was so scared that she cried. She was afraid of Di Haotian's methods. She couldn't go to a place like prison that was worse than death. He might as well just kill her. Liu Huai watched as Di Haotian walked further and further away. With tears in his eyes, he seemed to have made an important decision. If you really want to treat Lan Wanru like this, then why don't you take my life as compensation? After saying that, Liu Huai let go of Lan Wanru, and his head directly hit the sharp corner of the coffee table. With a bang, Liu Huai fell to the ground. His eyes were closed, and there was a hole in his head. Blood flowed to the ground. Lan Wanru couldn't believe his eyes. He crawled forward and said, Auntie! Auntie, wake up! Auntie! Auntie, you can't abandon me! You can't abandon me! Di Haotian turned around and looked at the scene. His black eyes were cold, and he didn't say anything. He turned around and left. He Ju signaled with his eyes, and his bodyguards came forward and pulled Lan Wanru away. No, no. Save me. I don't want to go. Brother, where are you? Save me. Lan Wanru's voice got further and further away until it couldn't be heard anymore. The car left, leaving only empty silence. Di Junbai was standing by the railing on the second floor. He turned around and slowly walked down the stairs. He walked until he reached Liu Huai, who was lying on the ground. Liu Huai wasn't dead yet. She was still breathing. Di Junbai squatted down and picked her up. He called her, Mom. Liu Huai struggled to open her eyes. She looked at Di Junbai, her son, and asked, You? Why did you do this to me? Why did you bring bowling to our house? Why can't you forget that woman? Is it because of her? I'm sorry. Di Junbai apologized. Liu Huai wanted to laugh, but she couldn't. Or rather, she didn't have the energy to laugh. Wanru is your sister. You have to save her. I know, Di Junbai said. I really want to see bowling again. Liu Huai's tears flowed out. Di Junbai didn't say anything. Liu Huai looked at her son. He was so perfect. She had kept the secret for so many years to give birth to him, but she didn't regret it at all. Child, there's something I've always hidden in my heart. I've never told anyone. Those who know are already dead. If I don't tell you this secret now, I won't have the chance to in the future. Liu Huai said weakly. Don't say it. Di Junbai refused to listen. No, I want to say. I told you not to say it. Di Junbai's gaze turned cold. Actually, you and Di Haotian. I told you not to say it. Di Junbai roared uncontrollably. He covered Li Yuhuai's mouth and nose with all his strength. Li Yuhuai couldn't breathe. Her eyes were wide open, and her body twitched slightly due to the lack of oxygen. In the end, she suffocated. Only then did Di Junbai release his grip. Di Junbai looked at Li Yuhuai, who died with her eyes wide open. His gaze was hurt. I told you not to say it. Why did you say it? I wanted to take you to the hospital. Why did you say it? Why? At night, Tang Bao went to bed first. She thought that Di Haotian was in the study, so she fell asleep while waiting. When she woke up, it was already morning. She had just woken up when she realized that she was being held tightly by someone. She didn't need to think to know who it was. She was all too familiar with that strong and broad chest. She turned around. Di Haotian's eyes were closed, but she still couldn't ignore the danger in his eyes. Tang Bao reached out and touched those sexy thin lips with her finger. Di Haotian didn't open his eyes. He asked, "Why didn't you just kiss me?" As soon as he finished speaking, he grabbed Tang Bao's face and kissed her. Tang Bao wanted to resist because she hadn't brushed her teeth. But she was already used to Di Haotian kissing her in the morning. He kissed her until she was panting. Li Yuhuai is dead. Tang Bao, who was panting, was stunned and sobered up. What did you say? Your second aunt? Lan Wanru killed her. Lan Wanru is in jail. Why would Lan Wanru kill her own aunt? Tang Bao was puzzled. Their family matters are very complicated. I'm not too sure. When did this happen? Last night. Last night? In other words, such a big thing happened in just one night? Tang Bao couldn't believe it. It was as if a person died just like that. When Li Yuhuai's funeral was held, her family and friends were all in attendance. They were all dressed in black. At the cemetery, Tang Bao saw Di Junbai standing in front of the tombstone. She was slightly stunned when she saw a teardrop fall from Di Junbai's eyes. She didn't know if she should sympathize with Di Junbai. His loved ones had already left him, and he was all alone now. Di Bowling walked towards Di Junbai and pulled his hand. Daddy, Di Junbai's eyes flashed. He looked at Di Bowling's little face and patted his head. Daddy is fine. I haven't seen you in a long time. How have you been? Di Bowling couldn't say it out loud. Welfare? Xinwu 799. Chapter 1147. He had a good life in the castle because he was always by his mother's side, but that didn't mean that he had forgotten about his father. Therefore, he didn't know what to say for a moment. He was afraid that Di Junbai would be sad. It's okay, as long as you're living well. I don't have any other requests. Grandma is dead and Aunt is gone. You're the only family I have left. Di Junbai squatted down, touched Di Bowling's head, and looked at him tenderly. Yes, I'll always be by your side, Di Bowling said. Tang Bao's expression changed slightly, but Di Haotian had already walked to Di Bowling's side. Let's go. Di Bowling trembled when he heard this voice. He looked up at Di Haotian. I want to go home. Your home is not there. Why not? That's my home. Di Bowling retorted unhappily. The castle is. I'm not going to the castle. I can't let my father be alone at home. Don't mess with me. Di Haotian looked at him coldly and sternly. Then, he pulled Di Bowling away and the whole family got into the car together. Di Bowling watched from the car window as Di Junbai, who was standing there, got further and further away from him. He didn't say a word, and his whole body seemed to be shrouded in gloom. Tang Bao was very distressed when he saw this. He looked at Di Haotian. The meaning was obvious. Di Haotian replied with 3 words, impossible. After returning to the castle, Di Bowling went into the hall without saying a word. He ignored everyone and went straight to his room. Tang Bao said to Di Haotian, just let him go back, or you can go with him. Can't you? I can't indulge him like this. If there's a first time, there will be a second time. I want to completely cut off his thoughts. But he's still a child. How can he understand the love and hatred of adults? If he doesn't understand, then start learning now. Di Haotian, didn't you hear what Di Junbai said in the cemetery? He said that on purpose for Di Bowling to hear. He really doesn't know who his father is. Tang Bao went to Di Bowling's room. Di Bowling was sitting on the sofa with his head lowered. When he saw her enter, he called out, "Mommy." Tang Bao walked over and sat down beside him. He asked, "Do you really want to go back?" Di Bowling thought for a moment, nodded, and said, I'm just going back to accompany him. I'll come back again, okay?" After saying that, he gave up and said, "I know you can't make the decision. There's no point in asking you." Tang Bao, are you really just going back to accompany him? Will you come back? I mean what I say, Di Bowling promised. Then if you want to leave, and your daddy says that he's alone now and needs someone to accompany him, will you continue to stay there? Tang Bao asked. My grandma just passed away. I want to be with him and be happy. So you're saying that as long as he's unhappy, you won't come back? I won't. I think that if it's too long, Di Haotian won't agree. Then I'll stay as long as he wants me to. That should be fine, right? Tang Bao kissed his forehead. I'll help you talk to him. Will he bully you? Di Bowling asked. Tang Bao was about to say something when Di Haotian came in and answered for her. Yes. You still want to go? You're threatening me. Di Bowling's face turned red. Di Haotian snorted coldly. You know what a threat is. Don't treat me like a child. I know everything. Since you know everything, then all the more you shouldn't go. Di Haotian's face was cold and stern. I'm just going to take a look. Di Bowling lowered his gaze. Tang Bao was a little confused by the conversation between the father and son. What were they talking about? They knew everything? What did they know? 2 days. Di Haotian finally relented. 5 days. Di Bowling said anxiously. 3 days. Di Haotian. 4 days. Di Bowling tried to fight for himself. 5 days. Di Haotian. 3 days. Di Bowling. Deal. Di Bowling. Tang Bao. Why did this conversation feel so familiar? Di Bowling was tricked. He turned around and asked Tang Bao in disbelief. Mommy, how many days did I say? 3 days. Sweating profusely, Tang Bao stretched out 3 fingers. When she met Di Haotian's teasing black eyes, she remembered that she was tricked by Di Haotian in the same way back then. She didn't expect this little fool to inherit her. How embarrassing! Although Di Haotian usually had high expectations for his son, Tang Bao realized that Di Haotian still cared about his son. When he needed his help, he would never leave him alone. For example, now that Di Bowling went back, Di Haotian went to live with him. This surprised Tang Bao. When Lian was tidying up Di Haotian's clothes in the room, Tang Bao couldn't help but ask Di Haotian, "Are you sure you want to live with him?" "If it's possible, I don't want to either." Di Haotian turned around and hugged Tang Bao's waist. His gaze was so domineering that it looked like he wanted to eat her up. "I'm going to be separated from you for 3 days. After 3 days, you have to compensate me." Tang Bao blushed slightly. "Can't you think of something else? I'm going to rely on this for the next 3 days. Why can't I?" Di Haotian was like a child begging for candy. Tang Bao said helplessly, "I know. I'll compensate you, okay?" Di Haotian couldn't help but kiss her lips fiercely before letting go. Tang Bao's face was hot and her eyes were watery. "Are you worried about Di Junbai? Di Junbai has too many tricks up his sleeves, and his thoughts are too deep. I can't guarantee what he will do to Di Bowling. The key is that I want Di Bowling to know who his real father is." Tang Bao nodded. "I'll be more at ease if you go." When the kindergarten class ended, the car that came to pick up Di Bowling was Di Haotian's car. Bao and Di Bowling no longer needed Di Haotian to pick them up. They were chauffeured to and fro by the chauffeur. Just as she was wondering, Di Haotian got out of the car. He looked at the two children and said, "You two take the chauffeur's car. Bowling and I will be staying at Uncle's house for 3 days. We won't be back at night. You have to listen to Mommy at the castle. Do you understand?" "Okay," the two children said in unison. However, Di Bowling was unhappy. He glared at him with his beautiful eyes and asked, "Am I not going back alone? Why do you have to go too? I promised you that I would go back, but I didn't say that I would accompany you. Is there a problem?" It seemed like there was no problem, but he felt that he had been set up. "Don't dawdle. Get in the car." Di Haotian carried him into the car. After getting into the car, Di Bowling's face was very dark. He never thought that he would be set up by Di Haotian in terms of time and conditions. He didn't win against Di Haotian in any way. He was extremely angry in his heart. He looked at Di Haotian again and saw that he was very calm. Di Haotian's phone rang. When he saw the caller ID, his dark eyes softened and he answered the call. "You're going back?" Shinwoo 799. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Nights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.